Hope you can hear me now. I was missing the sound for a second. Welcome everyone that is watching right now. Thank you very much for being here with me today. We have a very special Saturday with a lot of things to talk about the collectibles world. So I want to thank everyone who is watching right now. Thank you everyone that is taking the time to be here with us tonight, this evening. It's very sunny outside, which is amazing. Of course, this is the middle of, we are in the summer. We're starting the summer officially, but it's already hot and warm, and it's just definitely annoying sometimes with the heat. But I want to say thank you to everyone that is taking time to be supportive of the channel as usual. Thank you for those who are watching, and whether you're watching this live at the moment or whether you watch this down the road later, the recording at any point tomorrow, later in the evening, or any other day in the future, because of course those videos are always stay in the channel. You can always come back at them for reference, always at timestamps, so you can go back and look at things, you know, make sure that everything is there. Anything that you're interested on, you can always go back and check, and that gives you an idea. I cover a lot. For those who are here for the first time, we talk about anything that's to do in the collectibles world. So we talk about action figures, we talk about statues, props, replicas, we talk about die-cast models, and anything in between, anything that is special, any collectible that comes out. So we cover a lot of things. I try to cover as much, of course, because there's always something to collect. I'm passionate about a lot of this collectibles. I'm passionate about toys. I'm passionate about statues. I'm passionate about die-cast. I'm passionate about a lot of things, gaming, you name it, anything that has to be with pop culture. But I want to say thank you. Don't forget to leave a like if you're watching this. That supports the channel. Also leave a comment, let me know you're watching, where you're watching from. That would be nice. Let me know where you're watching from. It's always cool to talk to people from other parts of the world. But everyone is welcome tonight. And just to kind of get into the mood of things, kind of give you an idea of what we're going to cover today, let me go to my list. I always prepare a list just to be on the safe side. This is going to be this video, actually, this live video is going to be more inclined towards toys, action figures, because definitely there were a lot of releases for toys, and of course there's statues. There's a good number of statues to talk about, but definitely there were a lot of action figures. So we're gonna look at I want to talk about McFarlane toys, the couple of things that were released this week, some stuff that is for San Diego Comic-Con, some exclusive stuff, also the Superpowers line that went on pre-order. I'm still fascinated by this line. Continues on. Todd continues to bring more characters for the Superpowers line, which I'm really happy for. Definitely gonna look at Hasbro San Diego Comic-Con special exclusive reveals, some of the stuff that it was showcased, some really good stuff. If you're a G.I. Joe Classified fan, if you're collecting Marvel Legends, of course, we're gonna look at some of those special things that's gonna be available during the convention. I'm gonna look at the NECA San Diego Comic-Con 2024 exclusive pre-sale that just ended. I was able to, if you watch my video during the week, I covered some of those things. You can always go back to the video, look at this stuff. I was able to grab what I needed, so I'm very happy, although we have to struggle a bit to try to get it, and I want to talk about that experience with you. I want to talk about Syndicate Collectibles. We're going to look at, they also have a release for action figures. Hiya toys. We're going to look at 1000 toys. We're going to look at Exo-6. We're going to look at Hono Studio, the company or the affiliate company from Hot Toys. They have a Spider-Man figure. We're going to look at it today. On the statue side, we're going to look at Pure Arts. We're going to look at Tsume Art, Piji Studio, definitely Aaron Studios, as always, at the end of the month. They release all the stuff that is coming on pre-order. A lot of that stuff is already on Sideshow, so we're going to look at this stuff. We're going to look at Infinite Statue, this Italian company. We're going to look at the new teaser from Legendary Beast Studio of a Batman 1/3 scale statue based on the animated series. We're going to look at this teaser. We're going to talk about PCS. We're going to look at Factory Entertainment. We're going to look at Queen Studios. And that's pretty much, we're going to wrap it up after that. But I want to say, again, thank you very much for being here, being supportive of the channel as usual. And definitely there's a lot to talk about. Now, before we get into this stuff, I wanted to talk about a little bit about Joe Fest. Joe Fest is this convention that happens in Augusta, Georgia, which is not really far from me, just only a few hours away. That happened last weekend. I did not attend. It didn't cross my mind. I was, of course, came back from vacation, so definitely I didn't have the energy to go. But there's a lot of reveals there. There were a lot of companies presenting stuff for G.I. Joe, a lot of toy companies. Super 7 was there. I know that 3-0 was there. Ramen Toys was there with a lot of cool stuff. And a lot of that stuff, it was showcased. It's going to come on pre-order at some point. We're going to look at that stuff when that time comes. But definitely Joe Fest is great. Hey, what's up, Thor? Greetings from Queens. Hey, how you doing, my friend from Queens? I hope you're having a fantastic day. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it, my friend. It's always nice to have people from New York. Now, I want to talk about... so we're not going to talk about Joe Fest today, but we're going to talk about, unfortunately, but once those stuff goes on pre-order, some of that stuff was already showcased. When that stuff is on pre-order, then we're gonna cover some of that stuff. I think there's a couple of things that are interested from 3-0 for G.I. Joe. We're gonna look at that when the time comes. But first, I want to start with McFarlane Toys. And again, Thor, thank you for stopping by, and anyone else that's coming to the channel, appreciate it. All right, let me take you, and for that, let's go to here. So we're gonna look at the first thing that I want to cover today, and I want to take you to, actually, let's go to Facebook. McFarlane Toys, because here we're gonna use this as the platform to prompt for us to go to look at other things. I love that the energy that Todd has. Of course, he's always had this super energy. There's a lot of stuff that he's been releasing so far, And there's a few things for action figure collectors that I want to kind of really give you an idea of things that they'll release. Like, for example, you see this McFarlane Sports Picks is checking out the NHL draft this weekend. You know, yeah, if you're an NHL fan, here you can see the figures that they have. Definitely McFarlane always loves that. This is a sneak peek that they have from next week, and we're going to look at that next week. It's going to be available a pre-order in, I think, early July, so it could be next week, could be the following. This, if you're a fan of Rocky, you're a fan of Sylvester Stallone, of course they're gonna have some nice little pose figures. It's gonna be tiny little statues. They've been doing a lot of this kind of pose figures, so we're gonna look at that when the time comes. But I want to talk about this. This is a San Diego Comic Con. The first thing that they showcase, and it's going to be available, there's the Superman 7-inch scale gold label figure based on the Centennial Park tribute statue, exclusive to the San Diego Comic Con show floor. So this is going to be exclusive there. Is it going to be available in another way? Maybe through the website, perhaps. But even though it says right there that it's only available at the San Diego show floor. But I will tell you, normally I'm not crazy about a lot of the figures produced by McFarlane. But this is definitely a very cool repaint in the statue form of this Centennial, and it also says that it comes also with a cover comic, so that is super cool. Exclusive also the show with the purchase, you're gonna get this Funeral for a Friend. I like it. I think it's a pretty cool, just for an action figure. I think that is very cool. Normally I'm not a fan of a lot of the sculpts of all the figures that McFarlane does, but it's pretty cool. You know, I like it the way it is as a figure. This would be actually cool just as a statue, as a 1/6 scale statue. So hopefully they rethink this and they do on their DC line that they've been doing. Of course, the DC Direct stuff, they're able to produce a statue as a 1/6 scale. Even PVC statue will be okay. I will be fine. I think it looks really, really neat. So this is definitely in the convention. So stay tuned where that goes. I would imagine that the price would be around somewhere $30. It could be up to $40. Who knows? There was other things like this for the gold label that was showcased. But to me, also you see, for example, this Max Mercury, the Flash, the classic figure here, the classic Flash. Oh, it's kind of cool. It's fine. But to me, the stuff that actually caught my attention is definitely this figures here, the Superpowers line. Now, I'll tell you this. The Superpowers continues to grow. Now, this figure is already sold out. If you go to the website, let's see if we can go there. At the McFarlane store, all these figures, and this is actually the Guy Gardner. This is at the website. There's two different websites for McFarlane. You have the website and the store website. So this is just the website. If you go, let's say to, let me show you to McFarlane store, for example. If you look at the pre-orders here at the McFarlane toy store, all of these are sold out. You were able to purchase this as a package. There's supposedly a deal. Now, I'll tell you that I purchased stuff from McFarlane store, and the shipping is the killer there, more than anything else. But you were able to get this, got this black manta and the black suit. Looks great. They got the Metamorpho, which in my opinion is probably very cool. One of the coolest things there on that particular line. Of course, the Guy Gardner, definitely a must. And Booster Gold. Definitely that also looks great. I like that. That is another addition to the Superpower line. They're already sold out of the website, even as a whole package. However, you can still come to... these are available for pre-order also at Amazon. Let me see if I can take you there. I'm going to show you the Superpowers. If you come there, you're able to see that they're there for available. I would rather just get him here, pre-order him from Amazon. You have Guy Gardner again, $9.99. If of course, the deal. So you're a Prime member, then definitely it's a lot cheaper. You don't have to pay for, you can use the free shipping. This is going to release sometime in August, according to this. So it's going to be released a little farther down the line in so many ways. But I think this is, what you can get. Definitely, there's a lot of stuff. Even if you come to Amazon, you can see a lot of the stuff that is already sold out at the website is available here. So I've been collecting this line. Not all of them. I've been skipping some. I've seen some at my local Walmart. There's like 3 Walmarts in the area, so I go sometimes to one or the other. One close to my job, sometimes I go there at lunch, to grab something to drink, snacks or whatever. Or sometimes I even come to the one from my house. On the way to the house, I might stop. There's one in the way that I normally stop to So normally there's places to go. Technically 3 just in the direction to my house. And there's a lot, you know, to look there. And I'm super happy that they continue this line. That, you know, it's been very successful. Price point is excellent. I normally get 2. Definitely, I need to still get this Sinestro. I get 2, 1 for this to get out of the box, 1 for display. And I've been collecting it. It's super fun. It brings some back memories, of course, of the original line back in the 80s. So yeah, it's kind of cool. So they have this. So you can come here at Amazon and you can purchase it here if you were unable to get it at the McFarlane store website. All right, so that is what I wanted to show you from. Oh no, so sorry. There's another thing that I want to show you here that I kind of forgot, and I don't want to skip here. There's all this stuff like this page punchers. I've never been great. I'm okay with this line. It doesn't bother me much. But we have the you know, the Batmobile based on the animated series, which went on pre-order, and it actually went back on it. You can find it at Target. I can show you right here. We're coming to Target. It's still available there for pre-order. This is going to be around $80. You can pre-order now. It's going to release this month, and I will tell you this vehicle, I think it looks perfect. The previous vehicle based on the '89 film, came out fantastic. I don't have it. You know, I do have the diecast model, so I don't really need it. But I know that a lot of people were really happy with this, with the scale, the 1/12 scale, perfect with the figures that they have. That's another thing that probably prevented me. Some of the figures I'm not crazy about. And some of the figures, even for the animated series, I'm not crazy about. The quality hasn't been that great. But the vehicle itself looks really, really good. If you can see it right here. So you can come here. And it looks really fantastic. It has light up features. I'm not sure if it has any type of sound feature, but the packaging is excellent in my opinion. It looks really neat. Here, coming back to let me show you the pictures of the vehicle. This is, of course, it was part of the Summer Geek Out, the stuff that you could pre-order initially with at Target, but still now it's still available, so you can still purchase it. And I'm sure it's gonna end up, some of them end up at the store sometime very soon. But it looks great. I'm not sure if it comes with an extra figure. Oh, the figures are sold separately, but it's a pretty cool figure. Back in the day, I remember when I think we had one that was created for the DC Direct line back in the day. So I'm not sure. Technically, they kind of reused the same mold that was used for that DC Direct, because of course now, technically McFarlane has been managing DC Direct. So technically, this is a re-release of a figure that came out years ago. That was still very sold out, and it was more expensive back then because, of course, it was more limited in numbers. Of course, McFarlane has a bigger reach, the way they sell not only through the online service, but also they do it through retailers, like in this case, particularly like Target. But yeah, it looks good. So if you're interested, I invite you to kind of pay attention. This is what McFarlane is doing. Looks cool. Definitely, they're doing really, really amazing stuff for sure. The stuff that they have available. So look at that at McFarlane. Now, the next thing I want to show you, and we're going to look at the stuff that was done for Hasbro. Hasbro, of course, is getting ready. There was a lot of stuff that was, if you come to Hasbro Pulse, for example, there was a lot of releases. As always, there's a lot of releases for Marvel Legends stuff. We're coming here now. And trying to get this page out of the way. That's when you're working with only one screen. You have to work a lot of things. But here's stuff that went on pre-order. As you can see, a lot of the stuff that hits here went on pre-order. There's a lot of great figures, of course. Some of them I'm not crazy about. This Strange Tales line. They got this Moon Knight, which is technically a repaint of the previous one that just came out. I have 2. The one that were only available. There was a re-release also. The same body mold that was at Target recently, not long ago. I got 2 of them, one for the retro line. I have 2, one to display, one to get out of the box. So that looks cool. It's the same. It's a repaint. I'm okay with that. Fine. You got Hellstrom right there. You got the Weapon of Vengeance. That Brother Voodoo really looks really kind of neat. This is more like a modern take of Brother Voodoo. But the figure that definitely caught my attention, the one that I'm really super interested on, is this Odin that went on pre-order. It's $59. It's not cheap at all. It's going to release in October. but that is 60 bucks. But that figure looks really, really neat. Maybe let's see if we can actually enlarge. Gonna give you an idea here. This O-ring looks really, really neat. Very cool. It seems like to be massive. I think this is a new mold as a whole. It's been a while since they had an Odin figure. But I do like it that, you know, comes with the extra hands. As his sword, you know, his spear, you can call it that, but it's more like also a removable, I think, head part where you have the, his crown and the horns and the ravens that always accompany his companions. It looks really neat. This is definitely a fantastic figure. Trying to see if we can see it right here. They did such a fantastic job with this figure for sure. It looks really, really neat. Opening this one as well. Look at this one. You know, this is the thing what I will tell you. Like, sometimes people kind of, like, I have a lot of friends in a lot of different places. You know, I have friends who are statue collectors. I've been collecting statues for a long time in my life. So I love statues, but I cannot deny that action figures are also such a great way to collect. That you don't have to, like, some people sometimes can be a little stuck up about what they spend their money on. I'm not like that, because, I love statues because of my love of action figures as a child. And of course, statues can be more complete, a lot of things, but action figures are still super cool. It's more, they don't take as much space, and you can build this amazing figures when there's a lot of great parts. And I feel that this is the celebration, of course, the 85-year anniversary. This is a very nice figure. Even the packaging, I love what they're doing with this new packaging now. With this celebration figures, I even love the art in the back. So this is definitely a good way. If somebody wants to display that way, you can do it. It looks good, but I am definitely going to have it out of that. That's Ryan Stegman. This is the art of him. Good that they actually showcasing that. So this is another angle. So yeah, this is definitely one of those figures that I'm really looking forward to. I'm going to add to my collection. It looks really neat. So very happy that they have this one, which in my opinion is great. Now, the stuff that Hasbro did for San Diego Comic-Con, and I'm gonna take you actually, this were actually only exclusively showcased by IGN, which they've been doing a lot of deals with IGN, most recent times, doing a lot of that stuff. Let's see if we can find it right there. This is the reveals that happen with IGN for all the stuff that is coming to Comic-Con. I don't know if there's going to be more stuff. More than likely, there's going to be a lot of reveals there as well. But these are exclusives that you can purchase at the con. And there were a couple of things like I didn't care much about, to be honest with you. Like, for example, Transformers Legacy United Voyager class, Fracture, Friendship, 2-pack. To be honest with you, this is not my cup of tea. I prefer the more classic stuff. So this is definitely one thing that is easily skippable for me. The box looks kind of cool. You're a fan of this pack, but to be honest with you, I find others a lot better. This is definitely, there's some Transformers fans out there that are gonna see the appeal of this one. The design, I am more like G1 design, so that's just my thing. It's always been more of the G1 retro thing. But now the things that started really catching my attention, we have first the G.I. Joe Classified Series Cobra Commander Once a Man, and this is based technically on the film. This is you can look at the prices here. I know the prices were given. It's gonna be $75 for that Transformers 2-pack, which I think is ridiculous price for that, even though there's two figures there. Now for this G.I. Joe Classified Series, this Cobra Commander, again, this is based on the appearance when he had this on the film, on the movie, G.I. Joe movie, where he became kind of like, like a cobra. He was transforming into a serpent. So that's where they actually basing this. Let's see if we can see. So you can see the so they're doing that special. Now the box art is pretty cool in my opinion. They continue with this style for the for the packaging. It looks good. This is actually there's probably a window packaging there. You see the front. This is the front. This is the back. Once Upon a Man or Once a Man. And definitely the figure with the form, yet really fully transformed into a cobra. but it has interchangeable portraits, hands, guns. So definitely this is very niche, not for everyone. Like when you can open the box, which I like the idea to have, and this is what NECA does too with their figures. Definitely they're taking a hint from that. That looks really, really neat for those who are interested in the full transformation there. Then you got the regular figure and then the transformation. So yeah, this is definitely more of a, not everyone is gonna go crazy for it, but if you're you know, a G.I. Joe fan and you like the movie, you're building that. I've been building my collection too of G.I. Joe figures. So definitely this is a nice addition. Again, this is an exclusive just for the con. There's like 18 different, there are 18 pictures here. And you can see the portrait with the eyes and the transformation on the eyes. That's kind of neat and grotesque. But definitely this is a page taken from the movie. So that is great. We're not going to look at all the pictures here. But that is another exclusive. It's going to be $40 for this one, which I think is fair. Now, the next one that in my opinion, let me just jump right to this one. I'm going to go this. The next one is Marvel Legends Series Death's Head, which in my opinion is perhaps of all the stuff that was showcased here, that's the stuff that I really was more happy with. Because Death's Head is a character that is so many obscure from Marvel, but at the same time so cool. For those who are not familiar with Death's Head, he came out on the Transformers, the UK Transformers comics. Actually, he was created with another purpose, but he was there. It's a bounty hunter, galactic bounty hunter. Then, of course, then he dived into the Marvel comics in the UK, into, you know, it's kind of going into the Marvel side. But also, he was also in Doctor Who. So it's definitely a very UK British character that was created with that purpose. And I always love the design, and the comedic element also of the comic book is great. And there was already a figure of his second version that came out in the 90s, later in the 90s if I'm not mistaken. It got go almost in the 2000s. I think it was late in the 90s. That version is we already had a figure, but the original figure of the original character we did not have. So that's something that is now we have. I love even the packaging that they chose for this one, for this exclusive. This is a must in my opinion. I really like it, even though it's one of those things where it's so obscure that you need to have. So it looks super, super cool. Look at that. Even love the art on this side. The box itself is a piece of art. I think it's one of the best boxes that they have showcased. This is when I like the boxes. But here you can see the figure, classic colors, classic comic book appearance, you know, and his own series, which was never really popular. It was more like a cult classic in some way, very niche. But they don't get it wrong. This is a great character and the whole appeal. Some people were complaining about the cape not being cloth. You can always customize it, but I do like it like that. It's simpler, less damage. You have to take care less of it. I'm okay with the, you know, the rubber capes. I'm fine with it. Some people not, but I'm okay with them. The figure looks amazing. I really like what they did with this one. It's very poseable. Of course, they took some parts from other characters. I would say they took parts from the what is that? I've just Colossus. The Colossus figure, the previous Colossus figure, but they redo some things, of course, on the top, the clothing, of course, the new head, the new portrait. It's a great figure in my opinion. So definitely this is one that I'm going to add to my collection. You can see the look at the back. This is one that definitely is going to come into my Marvel Legends collection, which is not that big, but every time I like those big characters. Those are the ones I collect the most. It's going to be $40, which I think is a fair, good price for it. It's definitely a must. Now, the next one, it will be the Star Wars The Black Series Darth Maul and Sid Speeder. This is, of course, from the first appearance of Darth Maul. This is a figure. It's going to cost all $60, which I think is fair. And when you look at this figure, you know, it's a redone. I think the portrait is new. It does have some cloth cape and stuff. But I think the body mold is pretty much the same as has been done before. I do like that they use the 25th anniversary, of course, of the episode 1 of Star Wars, the prequels, and they using this package and the way he's showcasing it's just a great presentation. Definitely for those who want to collect in the box and the package. It looks really neat. Nothing wrong with that. It looks really great for presentation purposes. Very nicely done. To be honest with you, I was not intrigued by this one, but the more I see it, I might just kind of, if I get the opportunity, I might the bullet, even the drone that he has. It's really a cool figure for sure. They did a nice job, and the packaging definitely adds an extra layer of exclusivity, I would say. You can call it that. Make it more exclusive looking. So that is a pretty good figure. And you can display like that. The speeder is nice. I think the price is fair. That is a cool figure for sure. So yeah, this is one that I would recommend. This is the next one they had, and that's what they have for the exclusives. Now, are they going to have more exclusives at the convention? Nobody really, I don't know. More than likely, yes. And probably they're going to have, as they always do with any Comic-Con, they have a lot of reveals, a lot of stuff that showcase the projects that they have for, you know, for HasLab. The projects are coming for HasLab, so we're going to see a lot more from Hasbro. But stay tuned for that. Definitely looking forward to that for the presentation. I don't know how it's going to be. Too bad that I'm not there, but I'm definitely going to, I'm going to kind of cover some of the stuff here in the videos. I'm not sure if I'm going to do videos just in particular for that stuff, or I'm going to do the same on the Saturday, or might do both. Who knows? Though it depends on the time. But yeah, that is very, very cool. So that's what Hasbro is doing. Now, I want to take you to the NECA store. And the reason why we're going to NECA is because if you follow my channel, of course, I talk about these exclusives, the pre-sale for the 2024 con exclusives, which is San Diego Comic-Con. And I talk about it. You can watch that video. I mentioned in that video that I was interested on not all of them, but I was interested on a few of them. And I will tell you that I was able to manage to get what I wanted. Now we have Alf. This is completely sold out. We also I got the Earl Sinclair Captain Impressive. I got that one, although I don't have the just the original because I haven't found it. But when I get it, I'll get it. So now this prompts me to get another one. And there's a new version that was announced, so I'm gonna get that as well. But they also have the Prey. They got the Nosferatu figure. They got the Flash Gordon. Although I found this Flash Gordon very expensive for $70 for what he has, just an extra piece of plastic that is part of a diorama. I just don't think that it's worth that amount. Now, the one that in my opinion was worth it was, of course, the Mirage Comics, the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the first Turtles, the first design that was done. And this is the one that a lot of people were looking for. Now, I got them. I got one set of each. One set of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, one Alf, one Earl Sinclair. But I will tell you one thing. I wasn't happy at the way they handled the whole thing. I wasn't happy. Now, I do like the Alf. I will tell you one. The thing that I wasn't happy about the whole presentation, when I'm looking at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles here, I wasn't happy because the first day, the sale started at 12. At 12 at noon, Eastern Standard Time. So at 12, I was already there like everyone else trying to get the pieces. The sale only lasted 2 minutes. I put the Turtles in my card. I added Alf to my card. I added Earl Sinclair to my card. And when about to pay, the Turtles sold out in a matter of less than 2 minutes. Less than 2 minutes. Everything. And that was because it was taking time for the screen to load. I was actually doing it from my job during my lunch break. And I took my break early so I could do it. And the internet in my job is not the greatest when you're using like Wi-Fi internet. So it was, and I was not using my computer. We're not supposed to use our computers for stuff like this. So, and they monitor that. Of course, I work for a governmental agency, so it's not like you can do much. But the point is that I try any of that. So I got disappointed. Then, of course, everything was sold out in a matter of 2-3 minutes. Everything was sold out. I did not finish that because the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were taken out of my card. I just didn't finish the sale. I just said, you know what? F it. That's what I thought in my mind. I'm not gonna do the other two. So the next day, I'm gonna try next day. The next day, I did that. I was faster. I decided to go someplace else with better Wi-Fi reception to a place, in another area of town where I know there's good reception. Go to this place. So I tried it. Everything was going fast. In less than a minute. It was even worse the second day. In less than a minute was sold out. So I couldn't finish that. So I had all the stuff already in my cart. I have Alf, I got. And then I thought about it. I think it's because you have to be fast in a matter of seconds. So what I did at that point was, you know what? I just finalized I just came back minutes later and still Alpha was still in my card, still Earl was in my card, so I just finished that sale. I said, okay, whatever, I'm gonna do this now because I really want these pieces too, these figures, I'm gonna do it tomorrow. Only instead of just adding more things to my cart, I'm just gonna snatch one as soon as I can and then just press buy. So at least I get one, because I was thinking to get more. But ultimately, you know, I said, you know, I think this is, you have to be really fast, because even though they say that they're fighting bots, this is the part where it gets on me with NECA and says, oh, we're trying to stop, you know, resellers to buying more. But at the same time, they're not giving you enough time to buy. So you know what? The only people who are fast enough to close the gap are just people who are using bots in order to purchase, which is stupid. And they were saying, oh, you know, they have this, we're trying to fight bots, so we only allow two per household. That's what they were saying. But the turtles, when they were selling it, actually you were able to buy 4 sets while everybody else was 2 sets. And in my mind, I'm thinking, you know, the only people that can buy 4 sets that quick is somebody that is using a bot. And, you know, and a lot of people were complaining on the first day. The second they came to complain to Facebook, I was one of them. And other people, yeah, but, you know, we're kind of like, you know, there's always going to be the people, because they're lucky about things, they act like, okay, they're better than you. And they, you know, like, even for example, here, I got actually on my, seems like it shows still. This already closed. I think it's probably that he did a second time, and in the end, I changed my mind. But the point is, the 2 days, it was like completely gone. I don't know what it says subtotal. I don't know why it's still there. Maybe it hasn't been refreshed. I know I purchased it. You know, I did it all with my phone. I have my receipt, all that. I think that is the second time I try. The point is this. Sorry if I get distracted a little bit here. The point is that, you know, how is it that people have to buy 4? You know, and the reality is that people were saying, well, people need 4 sets because they want to create 4 different turtles. The reality is that Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman never created this. You never saw a drawing of this, their creations in 4 sets, or like the 4 turtles. These are just simply the drawings they did in order when they created the characters, and everyone came up with an idea. Peter Laird did his version, which is the skinnier one, the more menacing looking, kind of Wolverine type of face, while Kevin Eastman did the chunkier one. So each one did a drawing, and that drawing, of course, is what they created these characters, and based on that, they based the ones. They kind of make a combination between the two, because they were both working on it. They were both drawing, and when you look at the original comics, it's kind of like a combination of these two. But that was original. It was just a sketch that they did. They were not in color. They were black and white, and I'm assuming that perhaps at some point we're gonna see black and white versions from NECA. The color versions are just exclusives that they do for the con. But, you know, no NECA. NECA say it's something exclusive, all down the road they kind of do a different version of something. But the reality is that they were never like 4 packs. Technically, it's only one, this 2, just like that. So to me, only having 1 set is fine. Having a second set is fine if you're looking to get it out of the box for display, but you still want to use 1 just to keep inside the box for collectible purposes. So 2 sets are the most you need. You don't need 4 sets. The only people that are going to do 4 sets are the ones that think supposedly some may do it to have the 4 different sets, which they never in the comics. The reality is that most of them are going to end up selling it. And if you go right now to eBay, for example, like, you know, you go to eBay, I'll show you this. This is what it gets on my nerves. If you come to eBay and you do NECA, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2-pack. I don't have it here. NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja 2-pack. San Diego Comic Con. $20.24. Oh, sorry. You can see it. They already have it on, like, they were like people selling them, like, for example, for $160. You know, right away. I haven't seen a few, but people were right away. Here you can see it. Yeah, already people selling them for $150, shipping from $66. So don't tell me, NECA, and there, you know, you can see all this end up here. Don't tell me that you're actually supporting the people. Like, these people were buying it just to have 4 sets, just because the kindness of their heart. They're already selling. Look at this one, $119, $83.99 for shipping. Get out of here. You know, like, all these people were just getting, all these people that bought extras and they were given 4 to buy. And I'm sure there were so many ways that they can trick the system. There are a lot of people with bots. They're buying this so they can resell. So they're true collectors that were looking, at least for one, they weren't able to do it. But the funny thing is this, that the sale only lasted 2 minutes. The first day only lasted 1 minute the second day, By the third day, I was like, you know what? Because I already learned my lesson. I'm going to be here on the dot at 12. I'm only going to snatch one. I'm not going to even try to put a second on the, because that takes time to load. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to snatch one by, and that's it. My information's already stored there. I have my information set up, everything. I want to make sure that my card was safe, all that stuff. And the moment it came, it did it in less than a minute, like a couple of 30 seconds, I was done with the deal. And I found I got me one, and I was so relieved. Finally, it was not kicked out. I was able to grab one. And then I saw that they were still available for like 1 minute after, 2 minutes after, 3 minutes after. I even went to social media. People were saying, hey, still there. And I'm looking at the stuff, and it's like an hour. It took almost 2 hours, and they still were, the turtles were there. So the reality is, you know, people were saying, oh, it's because now, you know, and some people, there's always the gullible people, they saying, oh, NECA did it, now they fixed their website. They doing it in order to, you know, now they finally got more stock to help the people. I'm telling you, these figures are already in production. They were already in production. Even people are reviewing already. Some big reviewers are reviewing it on YouTube. So they already are in production. They're already reviewing, you know, this. This was planned since last year. This has been planned for a while. So it's not like they didn't have him in stock. What they do, they create this artificial, you know, I forgot the word, but it's artificial, it's scarcity. That's the word, scarcity. So they open the floodgates a bit, but the only people that benefit at that, you know, in that little window of time is just the people who are going to the scalpers. And then they open it so little, and then the final day houses that they got it for 2 hours available for sale. Don't tell me that all of a sudden some stock appear. You know, and I already know how many you have for sale. And I'm sure they're going to have some special stuff during the con. And of course, they're going to have the ones at the con and all of that. But they have plenty. So this is what I really dislike about NECA, because they seem to do that every year. They do the artificial scarcity just to create more FOMO, because now more people are there. And like I did, the first day, I said, you know what, I'm going to do it. The second day, I ended up buying Alf and Earl. At least I wanted to have something. And then I came back the next day. Some people say that they were able to purchase 2 on the first day, 2 the second day. I don't know how they were able to manage it that fast, but they did. In any case, a lot of people probably with fake accounts, fake IP addresses, they were able to buy more and change different addresses, whatever. So a lot of stuff is now for sale on San Diego Comic-Con, which it makes no sense. Now I doubled the price. So this is the thing where I felt frustrated with NECA. The NECA always acts like they, oh, you know, we're here for you, for the customer, but they're not really there. And that really demoralizes people, because to be honest with you, I wanted to buy 2. Ultimately, after those 2 hours, I thought about it. I can buy another one. I can go back and get another one as I wanted initially in the plan. But I said, you know what? I'm not going to support a company that does this kind of thing. You know, I'm collecting these turtles because I'm a big turtle fan, first and foremost. And also because they're, you know, celebration of 40th anniversary. I love this style. I've been building this collection, so I'm going to add it to the collection. But not because I'm happy with what NECA does sometimes in the practices they do certain things. The last figure that I bought from NECA took 6 months to arrive from pre-order. I got a couple of things and they were held for a while. I just received them recently, some stuff that it was on a special sale back in December. It just arrived. Special sale, oh, we're going to have this. What was that? The April O'Neil that I missed many, many times. They had it for sale. And I pre-ordered it. Supposedly they will get a second stock. It took 6 months for them to ship. And I also ordered at the same time other things that they already had in stock. But because of the way NECA does certain things where if you put it in the same order, they're not gonna ship everything until everything is together combined. So I gotta wait for 6 months for other figures I already had in stock. So to me, it's like kind of forgot about it and they showed up. And it's kind of like annoying when NECA does stuff like that. Because to me, it's like, okay, you don't put customers, like I buy something from Amazon. Amazon is going to release something, because technically they charge me shipping for each individual product. So it's like, okay, they couldn't combine them or something. You know, it's stuff like that that really gets on my nerves sometimes from them. So yeah, it's what happened. It is what it is. At least I grabbed mine, and you know, I grabbed mine, and ultimately I said I'm not going to buy a second one. Also because I'm sure a lot of collectors are very interested on this one. I want to at least have one. So you know, at least people are satisfied. So I'm sure they sold enough, and they had enough in stock. They're going to be able to produce. I'm sure they do. They don't just produce small quantities. They produce enough. I just didn't feel like, you know what, if you do that, I'm just not gonna support you. You could have my money early on, even from the first day. I could have just bought 2 sets then. I could even end up buying 40 if I wanted to. But ultimately I say, no, you know what, I'm not going to support when they do stuff like this. It really pisses people off. You know, it really shows that as a company, you create this, it may not be illegal to create artificial scarcity, but it's definitely unethical as a business practice, particularly when you promote this and tell, be there, it's gonna be in, you know, you have to, you got this window of time, but the window doesn't even last more than a minute. You know, that's just a bunch of BS. Because how is it that the one day, first day, you didn't have enough, the second day has enough? People saying, oh, it's because, you know, like the second day they're looking out for you. No, because believe me, if there's a lot of people, this most of the thing, if it was the way that person told me, and I'm gonna finalize this because I'm really going in circles with this one. Somebody told me you have to get mad with the scalpers, not with NECA. The scalpers are the one that create the problem. I'm telling you, if scalpers were as involved as they say they are, scalpers will be not only completely clean the whole thing of the whole sale on the first day and the second day, they also would have cleaned the third day. But the fact that the window was open for longer and things didn't sell out as quickly as, you know, as happened in the first, second day, when there were still a lot of people, I'm telling you, you go to Facebook, to Instagram, people were complaining, a lot of people were complaining. So that tells me that it was not because the scalpers took everything or the first people took everything. It was mostly because they simply created a small window of time and they shut it down. Small window of time to create the idea of the effect that they were running out. And then on the last day, of course, they opened the whole doors for everybody to have as much as they can. That is kind of messed up. In so many ways, I know it's a practice to bring more sales, but at the same time, it brings a bad image. That's what I prefer companies like Mondo, for example. Mondo always does, like they give you a window of time. You have all this window of time. When it's over, but you can pre-order. And you know what? It's always better that way. You know, that you can produce as many as you want. I'm telling you, with the popularity of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, with the popularity of these lines, with the popularity of these characters, I'm sure they would sell more. Even they could sell even more than what actually have initially prepared for the convention. So that is just my 2 cents on this. At least I have it. I'm satisfied. I think that sometimes NECA goes, you know, extra in trying to make money. They actually hurt themselves rather than just help themselves. That's just my opinion. You know, from this perspective as a consumer, I could have given more money. But if they're gonna be like, you know, like sneaky like that and shady like that and pretend that they're watching out for you, then I'm sorry. You know, I'm not going to trust you with my money. I'll take it to somewhere else, you know, and I'm just going to buy the bare minimum, but other companies will get my money because I know they have it, you know, they have it. All right. So moving on for those kind of venting moment from me, I want to take you to the next company. And, oh, you know, and that's what happened. You know, at least I got, like I mentioned, I got Alf, which I'm glad. I didn't grab 2. At the end, I said, you know, I'm just going to get 1. I could have just grabbed 2 as I was the plan for each, but I said, you know, I'm just going to get 1. You know, I'm not going to give him more money. That's about it. So I'm going to go to a spec fiction. And I want to take you a spec because there's another figure from another company. And they have it here. This is Pumpkinhead 1/12 scale figure, which is amazing. That Syndicate Collectibles, I talked about it last week. Syndicate Collectibles is the company from Jerry Macaluso. Jerry Macaluso, the original owner of Soda Toys back in the day, but also the original Pop Culture Shock PCS, and before he sold it to the new owners. But you know, Jerry is not stranger to action figures. Of course, again, when we're talking about Soda Toys, some of the best toys, even up to this day, they stand their ground. I have a couple, you know, the Soda Toys, and also have some of the Storm Collectibles figures for Street Fighter. And I'm telling you, when I put them side by side, those Soda Toys, even after all this year, they still look good. You can still combine them. You know, you can see the age in some of them and some of the stuff that was done in the articulation, all of that, but they still look amazing right next to the Storm Collectibles, which are newer. They're more modern. They have more parts, more, you know, things that you can do. Articulation is better, all of that, but still they can stand their ground. So I would say that during that era of the Soda Toys back in the day, you know, Soda did a lot of things in order to, you know, during the time with Soda and NECA were neck to neck. And with figures, it's amazing. It's amazing to see Macaluso going back in some way with Syndicate Collectibles, who also, this company produces statues, but also going back to the roots with action figures. Now, this is the figure, $65, which is kind of understandable because the size is a 1/12, but still, you know, it's a bigger size and it looks really neat. if you're into the horror stuff, I'm not necessarily a big fan of Pumpkinhead, but this figure looks really, really neat. They already created the statue for it, but now, of course, they're doing action figures, and this is a new direction that they are going to. Look at the interchangeable portraits. He has a cross right there. The figure looks very, very neat, in my opinion. The back of the figure. So this is definitely within the horror area, and definitely this is... I'm not sure if NECA has done a Pumpkinhead. I think they did back in the day. I don't think I have done one recently. But even the packaging, look at the packaging. Looking at it, it's so similar to the packaging produced by NECA Toys. It might even be the same company that does the packaging for NECA Toys as they're doing the packaging for them. Oh, I need the water, sorry. So looking at it, I would say that it looks really... That figure looks really, really neat, in my opinion. Let me do something here. I gotta move this around here. I need to charge my phone. I kind of forgot about doing it, so it sucks when you don't do the things you're supposed to do. In any case, so this is the figure. Really cool. So it's kind of nice to see Syndicate Collectibles coming back to their roots. I'm not sure the Syndicate is on Facebook. To be honest with you, I haven't really checked their Facebook page if they have one. So we're gonna do Syndicate Collectibles. Yeah, they do it right there. Here's Syndicate Collectibles. Some of the stuff that this company has done here. Of course, this Jesus and all of that. This stuff that we have seen. But of course, they did the Pumpkinhead statue, which looks terrific. And it's kind of cool to see this company. I think it's nice. Again, it's nice to see Jerry back on the saddle doing some of the stuff that they've been doing, that he's been doing. So yeah, it's kind of cool. Still, the company needs some work. I'm not sure this one right here. I don't think that's the one. That someone else's. Oh, actually, yeah, that's the one. I think there's a couple pages. In any case, I will say again, like I mentioned, it's very cool to see companies. In this case, Jerry Macaluso doing something that he was well known for. Is really, really a neat thing to do. All right, my friends, let's moving on. And I want to take you now to Sideshow. We're still within the action figures, but I want to take you to Sideshow because next company I want to cover. It's a company that I have talked, and I think we need to keep an eye on them. I said it many times before. And this is Hiya Toys. Hiya Toys, I talk about them. I think it's a company with a bright future. They release a couple of figures. They release always figures, but there's two figures that I really caught my attention. Let me see if I can see them here. Okay, I see it. I'm going to talk about the first figure that they released. That in my opinion is great. If you're a Universal Soldier fan, back in the 90s, you remember that Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, Universal Soldier, which is, it's not the greatest movie, but it's a fun movie. You know, like if you grew up in the 90s, Jean-Claude was like the thing. And of course, you know, you can see here the opposite, of course, the villain in this story of the other soldier, which is Dolph Lundgren. He was this guy, Andrew Scott. That is the other. So they already produced a figure of him. And I'm telling you, this is a 112. So it's not a big figure. It's like 6 inches. That's about it. But these figures that Hiya Toys has been doing that are fully articulated. They come with cloth, you know, clothing. In the same vein as the stuff that Mezco does. But they're actually doing more life type of characters, while Mezco does a lot of comic book characters or characters like based on art. But they're doing more of the actual thing. And I will tell you, even the sculpt and the portraits is really neat. This figure, as you can see, his weapon, his boots is really well done. It's 6'4", it's less than 7 inches. It comes with interchangeable portraits. Look at those portraits. He has 3 different portraits. You had the stand. So it's kind of like a mini version of Hot Toys, but in a, you know, like a smaller version of Hot Toys figure. The extra hands, the extra weapons, looks really neat. This is the first release that they have for this one. I'm sure they're gonna do a Jean-Claude Van Damme figure, which that would be great. That it looks really neat for. It may not be 100%, the quality of the portrait. But you have to keep in mind that for such a tiny scale, it's definitely a bang up job. You know, they did an amazing job, and that looks really look like him. Everything looks great on this figure. It's really nice, and I would say that is the reason why it's a little pricey. You're looking at $100 here at Sideshow, but you can order this also. You can go to order from other stores. You can, Hiya Toys also does stuff with Diamond Select, so you can even get this at your local comic book shop if you want to through Diamond distributors. You can go to Big Bad Toy Store, which I always recommend. You can find it there. But I'm telling you, it looks really neat. I like the boots. I like the design. It's a definitely nice one. As you can see, 16.5 centimeters for my friends that they don't use the Royal system as we do here in the United States. It looks really neat in my opinion. That looks great. That is definitely a nice reveal. $100 here. It's gonna release sometime next year, so definitely it gives you enough time. But this is not the only thing that they release. On that also they have this other figure that I want to cover here, which is also fun, and I'm definitely one is super interested. Is this Judge Dredd, the Cursed Earth Judge Dredd? That's another great figure, of course, based on the comic book and character, and more than anything that has been in the films, this is based on the comic book. It looks super neat. Even his clothing is real material. His cape is only 6 inches, so it's not as tall as the other one. But it just spot on in my opinion. Look at that. It looks really like the character. Very cool design. The judge ready to deliver some justice. His weapon. Very cool. Although here in the pictures I see a lot of that cloth cape and stuff, which is fine, but I would like to see more of the figure itself on these photos. Here it comes with everything. You can see it comes in a little package with all the different portraits, you know, extra hands, weapons, accessories. It's kind of like a nice little translucent little box where you can get all this stuff there. And that is just the way you can stand it. Very nice small figure. Again, looks really neat. So that's what we have. So this is $100. So this is the second one. It looks good. So if you're a Judge Dredd fan and you want something in this small figure and small scale, that's where you're building your figure. Definitely this is one that you can look, that you can definitely pay attention to. It looks really, really cool. So yeah, this is Hiya Toys. Definitely doing some really amazing work. Now the next figure, and now we're gonna move up in scale. We're gonna go now from the 112, we're going into the 1/6 scale figures. And I want to talk about, let's see here. This first figure that I want to cover is this Novel Tree June 8 266. If you're a Halo Reach fan, this 1000 Toys, this company that produces really nice figures. They've been producing a lot of stuff, of course, for the Halo Reach in particular. This is a very nice Halo Reach is my favorite of all the Halo games because I feel that the story was more compelling. I enjoyed that. And they, of course, they got $200 for this figure. It looks really neat. Big figure. I do like it. It comes with, it says chrome plated visor, which is just a paint job is all it is. It does have all the different hands and of course the weapon, and there's different things, the mounting part for your weapon. So you had the stuff that you can use when you're actually mounting it into your holster. Of course, it's sniper. So, and if I'm not mistaken, this is a female. I think, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember well, because I haven't played this game in so long. But very cool. Again, this is on the 1/6 scale. There's no mixed media here. Everything is plastic, but it's done really nicely. Even I would have preferred for this, of course, the scarf around the neck. It would be nice if there was not just plastic. That is the only thing that I'm going to complain and nitpick about it. It would be nice if it was actual cloth, particularly at this price point. You would like for something to be more on that, more premium on the feel of it. It feels more like a larger figure, a smaller figure that has been upscaled to 1/6 rather than a 1/6 figure in itself. Even I think even Mesco, those not Mesco, but 3-0 does a better job in making those figures look a little more exclusive, even though it's a little bit more of a cheaper side in comparison to Hot Toys. These are the other ones, figures in the line, in this particular line. It's kind of cool. Definitely, this is for the Halo fan. Very nice to have these figures in 1/6. Again, $300 for this. Definitely 1,000 toys. This company does really amazing work, and they do so many different figures here. We can see others. You can see here the other figures on that and the line. You have Carter A259 Noble 1, and then you have Noble 6. So this all part of that squad. And of course, you got on the waitlist that Ryobot Voltron, legendary defender, and that Vilkis. We talked about that Vilkis when it went on pre-order, so it's kind of cool. So definitely 1,000 toys doing some really good work for Halo fans right there. So that is really neat. Now, the next company I want to discuss right now, that I want to show you, the next company that we're going to talk about is definitely here, Exo-6 Commander T-Pole. We could go to Exo-6 website. You can pre-order, and I'm always going to recommend people, if you're going to order, just go to the Exo-6 website and order directly from them before you go anywhere else. Amazing company. I love their work. 709 is, I still have it in my collection. I reviewed it not long ago. Beautiful figure for sure. But you can always come here and definitely get it here on the pre-orders. It's part of course, T-Pole is part of the enterprise. But here you can see the stuff. They've been growing this. He continues to do really well here. The great thing about the way you do it in Exo is all you got to do to get the pre-order, you have to pay the deposit and then pay the difference and the shipping at the time of release, and it's always sooner than anywhere else. So honestly, it's a lot easier to do it that way. In my opinion, it's better to do it that way and come here. You get a better pricing too. But there's no specialty or no exclusive that comes to ordering directly from them besides just having it firsthand. And maybe get a better deal with the pricing, maybe in the shipping part. But you can go to Sideshow, which you feel more comfortable. You can do it with Sideshow. You can order this at Big Bad Toy Store. They have it there. $220 versus the Exo-6 price, which is actually $210 plus shipping. So yeah, it's $10 cheaper. Well, the shipping is going to be cheaper with Exo-6. But when you order here, I think it's a fantastic job. Now, the owner of the company mentioned that with T-Pole, they have the opportunity to create a new body, but he didn't decide to invest too much money on the body because he was coming too expensive. 709 is a figure that came out really expensive because they have to redo so much, so they have to do so much in order to get exactly right. So he said that he was not willing to lose money again in trying to get something that he was more passionate about. Just he did it because he was passionate about the character. So he kind of tamed a little bit into this figure. So even though when you look at the body type, it's not like I would say 100% T-Pole. It's not 100% accurate. But the reality and the question here is, when are you going to get another T-Pole? Who else is going to do T-Pole? No one else is doing Star Trek figures in 1/6 scale. Only them, at this point. So Exo-6, it's doing something amazing in my opinion. They're building characters for all this collection from all the different eras of Star Trek. I think they did a fantastic job, and I will tell you, the figures with Exo-6, sometimes the pictures are not as great, but those figures in person look amazing, look a lot better than they do in pictures, because that happened with me with 709. It looked a lot better in person. I still love that figure. It still looks amazing. So this definitely, they did a really nice job. I think the figure is great. She's a very, beautiful woman, of course, in real life, and she was definitely the eye candy. They always have the eye candy in all the Star Trek, and definitely she was. But I think they looks really neat. I think what they did and what he's doing, like he was doing before with the other figures, he said more of the other figures are with 709. It was more like a new body. A lot of the newer figures are doing more of the padding in order to create the shape of the form of the body. So they kind of taken the same idea, the same concept of that Hot Toys does. So this figure, I think there's more of a padding in order to create the shape of the form of the body. So it's not a complete mold, a complete different mold for the body that after that has to be thrown away because there's nothing else you can do with it. So he's starting to be more selective and reuse some of those bodies in order to create the effect necessary. So that's something that Hot Toys always have done with their figures. So, but I think it looks great. The portrait at some angles might not look as good, but I think overall the figure looks great. I think the clothing, the body that she has looks really neat on the figure. You might think that the head looks a bit too big in comparison to the body, and I would agree, a little bit too much. But from this angle, for example, from this distance, it looks fine to me. So I think they did a really nice job. I love the orange on her outfit. There's other outfits that they can come up with. But I think it looks really, really neat. Here you can see it. Definitely another thing that I like about the way he does things is that he tried to stay in scale with the height of each character. So they actually portray the height. He cares about that more than Hot Toys, or sometimes all the figures they're all at the same height, which is not true in real life. So I like it. Of course, the accessories with the extra hands definitely looks really neat. The body for sure. This is definitely a nice figure, and I am definitely going to get it at some point. I didn't pre-order it, but I'm definitely going to add it to my collection. Really neat, very nice figure. Definitely they did a nice job with this one, as you can see. Very cool, very cool detail. That's another winner in my opinion for Exo-6. Exo-6 continues to impress me with their figures. Price-wise, they're really great. And they're doing a really nice job. So Exo-6, thank you for another great home run, another great figure. That one thing, I follow Exo-6. I follow the owner on Facebook, and he's been always is very kind. He ahead of time he's presenting the process. It takes time. So I knew Tipo was coming. You know, he's been showcasing images of that for months, and finally it's on pre-order. I think it came out great, and definitely a lot of fans are excited with it. Happy with it, although it's not 100%. Of course, again, as I mentioned, nothing is 100% perfect, but I think it's good enough. It's excellent for what it is. It's really well done, and I'm sure that the fans, and I'm sure that the people who order this and get this in the end are going to be super satisfied. So at the end, that's all that matters. Satisfaction, full satisfaction for the consumer. So that is good. Just as the pointer there, Exo-6 doing another amazing thing. Now, let me take you now to the next figure, which is actually going to be the last figure of, before we get into the statues. Definitely, we've been taking a good time with figures today, but it's because there were a lot of figures to talk about. But I want to talk about the next figure in line, came out this week, which is this Spider-Man symbiote suit from Hono Studio, which is the small sister of it's a company, an affiliate company to Hot Toys. Many artists who are in the industry came to Hono Studio, and where they are creating their own concept and ideas. Particularly, they started with Marvel. We already have Magneto. We already have Wolverine. I think they're both fantastic figures. This is the third in the line, which is this Spider-Man with the black suit. And I'm telling you, a lot of people are happy with it. They love it. In the price, it's excellent. Again, this price is less than what you pay for many other figures. I think it's a really nice figure. My only complaint with the figure is that I think that he is too skinny. I know like some people haven't said that. A lot of people are looking at it. I like the base, of course, with the Secret Wars cover, which is iconic with the black suit. I think they're going for that. I still think that I found his body a bit too skinny in comparison, even to the cover. He should be a bit chunkier, because during this era of Spider-Man, he wasn't as skinny. He was a little bit more form in the body, a bit more athletic. So I feel that he is more of the body of a teenager, which he wasn't during that Secret Wars era. He was not a teenager. He was already in the process, he wasn't in the getting married yet, but he was in the process, if I'm not mistaken, of getting married. He was already, I try to remember, I think he was in the process of, he was already an adult, that's who he was. So I think that that's the only complaint. But besides that, it's kind of cool with the accessories, with the, even the book back in that, it would be nice if it came out with a camera too. That would have been great. But it doesn't look bad. Another thing that I would say is it's very, very poseable. They didn't go for this hard to pose material that Hot Toys uses. They went for the cloth, black cloth. I think some people are they like that. They are satisfied with that because it's very flexible. It's like a lycra material. It's a very flexible material, so it's very cool, which allows her some really nice poses. And perhaps that's the reason why they went into the more slim design, so to make it easier on when he was posing. That's perhaps a decision that they made for that. But yeah, definitely it seems like you can do a lot more with the figure, which is great. And looking at it, very cool and interested. But yeah, I still think looking at the figure, it's very skinny in comparison. I find it more skinnier than the Wolverine. Wolverine looks good in my opinion. Magneto looks great, more than that 90s vibe per se. There's a nice pose actually here for the suit. Has bendable web string, swappable eye plates. I did not notice that, but now I can see. So they got the more classic, and then of course the more McFarlane style. Here you can see what I was telling you. As you can see, the body in comparison, he is more athletic here. I find that yes, it's still in the more slim side, but even his arms are more muscular than here. I feel that even his shoulder is a bit wider, and his rib cage is a bit also wider. So I feel that in the figure looks a bit more a teenager. So yeah, it could be just the impression, but I do like they have the interchangeable. You can change the comic book, but they have this addition to the bag, which is super cool that they're doing that. So yeah, I would say that this is very nice. It's at entry grade, which means that it's not going to be super, it's not going to be Hot Toys great. It's still, but still is going to be in a really nice design scale and still going to look good. So yeah, I would say that it's good grade. It's not super premium. Keep in mind that the price really determines that. You know, we saw the Magneto. You know, like look at the price for the Peter Parker Superior Suit, which in my like, looking at this Spider-Man in comparison to this, it seems that they're using the same body. The only difference that this has padding on it, the Hot Toys version of it based on the films, but it seems to be the same, technically the same body. They transferring it into a more cheaper design with less instead of all the plastic padding around it. But yeah, that Wolverine, in my opinion, is still probably the best figure, followed by Magneto. I think the body, the design, it's stocky, he's wide enough. I think that is, in my opinion, a much better body, a much better interpretation than Spider-Man. So I think that is a better, not saying that Spider-Man should be as muscular as Wolverine. Wolverine is always stocky, but it should be somewhere, I would say close. I'm not saying close, a little bit slimmer, but still on the more wider arm, you know, wide, you know, bigger arms, something like that. So yeah, that's my only thing that I would say. Perhaps I'm a bit even Magneto. Look at Magneto. It looks more like the 90s Magneto. It's a bit more muscular. His body looks more the way they were trying to represent it from the 90s. So yeah, it's kind of cool. They could go with that, more of that wider image, even from the McFarlane era. McFarlane era would have been really, really nice for them to do such a thing. All right, my friends. So that's the last of the figures that we cover. Let me take a quick break. We covered all the stuff, all the figures, which I'm super glad that we did. But I want to come back. I want to take a quick break. But coming back, I want to cover the statues. We're going to, on the way back, we're going to talk about Pure Arts. I want to talk about Tsume Art, Piji Studio, Iron Studios, Infinite Statue. We're going to talk about Legendary Beasts, PCS, Factory Entertainment, and Quinn Studio. So yeah, definitely we have a good. But yeah, let me know. I want to say to all of you that are watching, thank you very much. Everybody that is leaving a like, appreciate it, my friends. Thor, thank you. My friend from Queens. But anyone else here, please let me know where you're watching from. That would be cool. Yeah, no, let me know where you from. Just to maybe you know, I'm in South Carolina here in the United States. So I'm on the East Coast, but let me know where you from, the East Coast, the West Coast, from the North, from the East, from my international friends. Let me know in the comments so I can, you know, give you greetings and thank you for your support. Thank you everyone for your support. So give me a few minutes and I'll be right back, and we'll continue on with everything else we have to offer.
Won't you just see right through me? On the dying days when I ask for forgiveness, or myself. Hey, Mr. Bully, what you think when you push me out of my own head where everything makes sense? Breathing in the lies that keep me open from the truth that keeps me holding on to your lies. What do you think you'll find me when you destroy what is inside me? I'll carry on. Say it's over when nothing's closer to what you're fighting for. The chapter where I'm ripping out my pages. Stop the fire under my skin. Oh, light the blaze again that stood alive for ages. Breathing in the lies that keep me open from the truth that keeps me holding on. To your lies. Where do you think you'll find me when you destroy what is inside me? I'll carry on. I'll carry on. I'll carry on. Those hands and lights can't stop me. I just hold on for dear life. Yeah, I can't give up this feeling that I get when looking down from this high. When I'm with you, when I'm with you, this high.
Hey guys, how you doing? Once again, thank you for watching. Thank you for spending time here with me tonight. Appreciate everyone that has been here. Thor again, my friend from Queens, thank you. Hello to all the people who are watching from New York City. Thank you very much for being here, being supportive of the channel. But everyone else who are watching, whether you're watching from Canada, we have a lot of people in Canada, friends. Whether you're watching, of course, here in the United States, the East Coast, the West Coast, whether you're watching from Mexico, we have people from there, people from Brazil, a lot of people who follow me there, people in Europe, thank you very much, in Asia, whoever is watching, thank you very, very much for your support. Let me know where are you spending time with me tonight, this morning, depending on the time of the world, your time zone, of course, it may vary, but thank you very much for being here. All right, so we just cover, and don't forget to leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know that you're watching. But moving on to the next thing, we just covered the action figures. It's time now to cover the statues. We get into the statue train. So let me look at this list here that we have. All right. So we're going to go to, let me take you to the place that we're going to go to. We are here at Sideshow, and I'm going to use Sideshow as a point of reference because although you can certainly just use this as reference, but Pure Arts, they just released 2 statues. These are PVC statues. These are 1/8 scale statues, and of this Superman and Batman black and white. These are black and white versions of the original statues that the PS exclusives that they have that they have just no long ago, and they are sold out here. People were happy with them, particularly the Superman based on the art of John Byrne. But when you're looking at this one, we're gonna look first at Superman, and again, these are black and white versions. As I mentioned, it's completely sold out. The color versions, what I think in my opinion, they're great figures, great statues. But if you miss out, you get the opportunity to do them in black and white. Now, I'm telling you one thing. I'm not necessarily a fan of the paint job itself of this black and white. Even though the price is fair, I'd rather get the color versions. The black and white is kind of niche and knit. But look at the way they painted the eyes. That is definitely that is not the way. I think the job in the eyes, the shadowing they put around the eyes, it just doesn't look neat in my opinion. It just looks terrible. It's like somebody just grabbed a Sharpie and then went around and they just trying to paint it. They could have just simply actually do the eyes in black instead of just the shading. It looks like a member of Kiss. I don't want to be disrespectful, but man, it doesn't look like, yeah, it looks like somebody grabbed a Sharpie and then went to town with it. It just doesn't look as appealing in my opinion. Yeah, it's kind of cool in some way that is the same statue, the same mold. They really took this from the McFarlane, book, because McFarlane does a lot of these different variations of their statues and vinyl statues. I just don't see the color as appealing. Even has like a tiny little goatee little thing under his mouth. It's just not, they didn't think it through. It doesn't really appeal. It's just not necessarily the best job with it. They didn't do a good job with it, in my opinion, whoever painted. And I'm not trying to diminish the person, whoever did it. Maybe the person was just following a drawing and just did it as the drawing showcase. I just felt that they could have done a lot better with it, because it's a great mold. It's definitely a great mold. But when you compare that black and white to this here, for example, looking at this, look at it limited. It was 3,000 pieces and it completely sold out here. So it did so well. Definitely this is the better version. This is the way you want to have it. Very nice. And it's not perfect. I've seen some pictures, some reviews, but still, I think it looks great on display. That is how you want to have it. The classic design. Very nice, very well done in my opinion. Better than what you see on the black and white. Now, they did the same treatment with Batman. I do like the way they did Batman. I think Batman looks better with the eyes that way. It's better. Definitely Batman always in the shadows look great. Of course, there's been so many artists doing Batman black and white. So I feel that with this one, they did... It really comes on point. It comes in a way that is actually more appealing. It showcases the eyes in a better way. It's just a better in the end job with Batman black and white. Look at the eyes. They could have done something similar with the eyes of Superman around this, you know, on the cheeks and stuff, and it wouldn't be a better job. I think at the end, the way they had it, it was not the best, more appealing way. They couldn't just simply do with Superman small lines to just delineate the eyes instead of making the big shadows in the eyes. This looks a lot better overall. Still, somebody grab a Sharpie and went. But whoever did the job here on this one did a better, in the end, a better job. It looks a lot better. So yeah, again, this is just the niche thing. If I have to choose in my mind, I go for the color one rather than this. But if I have my completionist, I want to finish the job, and definitely I would go just with it. And here's the color version, which is also fantastic. Very well done. Very nicely done. Looks really good. So yeah, I would say they did it really well. And I would love for them actually to do a Wonder Woman and continue this line and build other characters on the Justice League, or, you know, with classic outfits. That would be great. That version is again sold out, but you can go for this one. Again, but between this two, between Superman and Batman is the one that was done better. They really did it in a much better way. So I would say kudos to them for doing, at least trying something new. I would say PRS is doing a lot of new things, and that's good. You know, it's good when companies do different things. Now, I want to take you to the next company, and I'm gonna take you to Tsume Art. Tsume Art also released this week another piece. They are for One Piece fans. If you're a fan of this, on the 1/6 scale side, they got the Marco limited to 2,000 pieces. Again, this is something that they've been doing, another line that they've been doing for quite some time. This Marco the Phoenix. You know, I'm not necessarily the biggest One Piece fan. I know there is a fan base out there, and this piece continue with the Ikage line, which is technically their 1/6 scale line, with the base. It's just a very, you know, it's number pieces. It's a number 10, and they continue to kind of have a lot of different characters from different animes. But this is on the One Piece side, so you can build the One Piece. You can do the stuff they have done for with Toei, the other lines that they have with the Naruto stuff, or whether they have the Knights of the Zodiac. So they have different things, of course. So this is kind of cool. They went with a more dynamic pose, which some people would appreciate. But it's upside down. Some people might not be fans of the upside down pose, but you know, it plays with the character. It's dynamic. In the limited side of this 1/6 scale, they really follow this format. They're not going overboard or super crazy with, you know, the bases. How you doing? The Black Suit Spider-Man by Hawk Studios is hot garbage, and the majority agree. Oh, you mean the Hono? Okay, yeah, I gotcha. I would say not everyone. I know a lot of people kind of like it. Not everyone did. I know some people didn't. And I wouldn't call it a garbage, but I think it's probably the weakest figure that they have released so far in the line. From the 3 that they have, I think that is probably the weakest or the less interesting. I think that it needed a better body than what it had. I wouldn't call it garbage until its release, because the truth of the matter is that the other 2 pieces hadn't even been released. So in the end, I don't know how Hono, you know, the quality will be, I think the quality will be the decisive factor to call it a garbage piece or not, in my opinion. But of course, you know, everybody's entitled to an opinion. But here, looking at Marco, I just kind of like, I don't know. It's just the upside down is cool. But, you know, one thing I will tell you about the Tsume art, what I really like about Tsume, and I've always been a big fan of Tsume in that sense, is that the clear dressing they use is always amazing looking. They know how to do it in a way that really is appealing. And here's the effect. So definitely this is a very niche product, but definitely within the line of Tsume, which at this point Tsume definitely can do whatever they feel like it. And this piece is definitely up there. You can purchase this, I think, here through Tsume, which is if you're buying directly in Europe and France and stuff, which is be easier, or you can simply come to Spec Fiction. And Spec Fiction, you can come to get it here, pre-order directly from them. Spec Fiction is a great company. The price is $4.89, which is within the standard. And when you do the exchange, of course, between euros to US dollars. So this is gonna release in the first quarter of 2025. That's the estimation. Is gonna be 2,000 pieces. So yeah, I would say this is good for the fan. Definitely Tsume trying something totally new and different. And I'll give him kudos for doing something like this. Now, while I'm here at Spec Fiction, I'm gonna go to the next piece, and I'm gonna jump into a quarter scale piece. I'm going to PG art, and this is on the Amerfort Elf series. This is the Amerfort that they've been doing with this line of these characters. I think this novels and stuff like that. I think the web series that they have. PG's been doing a lot of these statues with these female characters, and PG's doing an amazing job. Look at this Amerfort series. A lot of amazing statues that they have released with this line. You can see, if you're into the female characters, definitely they have you there. But looking at this, I think the price is great for a quarter scale piece. Now, when looking at it, I'll kind of give you an idea of the character, who she is. For those who are unfamiliar with the Amerfort, just PG presents the 6th installment in their Amerfort Elf series. The Amerfort Elf series, Naga quarter scale statue inspired by ocean lore. Naga is a princess of the Sand Sea. While a dragon jumps out of the water and wraps around her, she moves with grace and ease. So this is as they do these hybrid pieces. So it has polystone, it has resin, it has PVC and metal elements. But now looking at this statue, beautiful eyes, beautiful skin, of course, natural. This is definitely on the sexy side. Look at the dragon going around her from the water. I think that in this case, we're a very simplistic statue, but I do like the clear resin to represent the water, and that dragon is very, very cool, very neat, very artistically designed. And of course, the beautiful model here that was used, you can see a dragon also tattooed to her leg. It's a very nice, I love the eyes. This line itself is just very, very excellent. And you can remove that from the eyes. You can see more of her face. That looks really neat. Very nicely done. Another great piece. Now with that veil. Very cool. Very, very stylistic veil too. And again, I can see some elements that the PVC elements can be seen, like in her bracelet. Very cool. Definitely, this is another great piece for what they're doing. Again, PG Studio does amazing work. They've been doing really great work. And I give him kudos for doing really a nice job once again. So definitely PG Studio, another company that continues to impress with their particularly with their female characters. Now, the next in the line, and I'm going back to Sideshow. I'm going back to Sideshow because I could go actually to, we could actually go to, let's go to Iron Studios website first. We're going to talk about Iron Studios, the king of the 1/10 scale. Of course, they are now celebrating the 11th anniversary this year. And they have a special sale for those who are interested of the 50% off. I would recommend you, if you're right now interested in some Iron Studio stuff, there's a couple of things that I'm actually interested on, but I'm kind of waiting a bit. You can come to their anniversary, and they have a lot of pieces at 10%. They were having some stuff on 50%. They have stuff on 50%, 20%. There's a lot of stuff at their studio if you buy directly from them that is definitely on sale. You know, look at a lot of the stuff is 20%. Big sale happening there. I think there's also a sale at Big Bad Toy Store. So they turn to sometimes, this is a great thing about Iron Studio, that sometimes they try to clear out their own store. And this is, of course, Iron Studios US. So they are clearing out some of the inventory here. So if you're looking for something, I think this is a great time to come. Let me see if we can go by the price range. I think, I don't know if this is sorted by relevance, sales. Let's go by sales. So here you get 50% off. The stuff that is more on the cheaper side, look at the prices. Like this spiral statue is amazing, 84 bucks. So I will tell you, if you need right now, like something, I was looking at this store Unleash, 50% off. I'm definitely very inclined for that one. $99 for that one. This is a good time for a sale. They do that almost every year during this time of the year when they celebrate anniversaries. They do the special sales. That Dark Side, not bad. So here's going down from the discounts into the biggest sales, the biggest discount, and it keeps going down. So a lot of the stuff, technically everything they have on store is on discount. So yeah, some are better than others, some 50%, 40%, but you know, I think they're great deals. So again, I would recommend anyone, if you're interested on one of these pieces and you're looking at something here that Aquaman looks really neat, this is the time to come for a sale. This is the time that you can come and grab some of the stuff they still have on inventory and grab it for a great price. So there's a few things that I have on my mind. I've been thinking about it. For example, I've been thinking I wanted to get this one and I did not get it last year, but I'm still interested. The Phantom, I think it's already still on sale. Right there, it's 20%. I wish it was 50. If it was a 50%, it was out for stock for a while. It came back on stock, so they had probably a second release, but I'm definitely want to grab this one, but I'm gonna wait until it's a 50%, then I'll grab it. I'm that cheap, but I have time to wait anyway. I always like to kind of give it enough time. So yeah, that's what you can do. But if we come to let's see on the pre-order side, let me see if there's anything here different than Sideshow. Of course, they got the little Minico stuff. I'm not a fan of Minico, so I skip on those. And there's a lot of stuff there. They have a special there. Okay, so some of the stuff I already covered last month. So let me go back to Sideshow. And here where we are at Sideshow, I want to cover the 110 stuff, starting first with the Lilo and Stitch. If you're a Lilo Stitch fan, my wife loves this film. It's always one of her favorite films. It was one of the favorite films of my daughter when she was little. And I think she still is. She always loved Stitch because he was mischievous. And my daughter, she was very mischievous as a child. So it brings some memories. So it's kind of cool. Definitely looking at this one. The only thing I will tell you that is disappointing about the Iron Studios collaboration with Disney Studios or Disney is that the statues that are based on Disney characters are super, super expensive. And in my opinion, not worth the money. Like, this is $555. It shouldn't be $555. It's not such a big piece. It's 1/10 scale. And it's not huge in comparison to other things that they sell. So that really tells me that it's more in line with the license is so expensive for them. But they keep in the license, but they're producing statues are very expensive. You know, it's only 7.7 inches tall, and it's $1,000. You know, over $1,000. And yes, the good thing about this piece is that you can actually have interchangeable stitches. A Stitch, you can be the Elvis Stitch, which you remember the movie or the cartoon. Definitely the hula Stitch. They got the laundry Stitch. So you got all this variations of Stitch, which is very, very cool. However, I still find it that $555, that is just a big price to ask for anybody for something of this scale. I would say, yeah, if it's like a 1/6 scale, then I totally on board. But at this scale, even the detail doesn't add up. Like, it doesn't add up when you compare to other pieces that we see. You know, this is not the right price. Yes, I love what they do, but there are a lot of pieces in there that you saw for the price that they're asking. They're a lot cheaper, even with the discount. So I think that this is just a license situation here where they have to pay a big fine or big license to Disney, and Disney is kind of marking the margin, but in my opinion, it's just too much to ask. They're asking for too much money, which is a disappointment, which is sad, because ultimately, I will tell you this is a beautiful diorama. This is a beautiful diorama that, that has so much to offer, and it should be celebrated rather than, very criticized because of the price point. It's not a huge diorama, only 7.7 inches tall. It's not big at all. It's tiny, and it's not worthy that amount. This is not more, in my opinion, no more than $300. $300 is even pushing it. I would just say more to $250 to $275. So yeah, they're going too far with it, with the price. It's not worthy. It's not worth that much money. All right, so that's disappointing, but that's the first thing. Now, the next thing we're gonna cover is now this Catwoman. There's two different versions of Catwoman. There's a deluxe version, a regular version of the Gotham City Sirens, and this is the regular version is $165. This one, I would say it's her, but it's not something that is overly impressive. Even on the page, I find it a bit too dark. There's a lot of detail that's lost. Maybe it's just the picture itself, but I feel that a lot could have been done to even make it even better. It seems very simple. It's simplistic. It's not like impressive in my opinion. So I would say that it's the most appealing thing. Even for a bid price, I don't think it's... Some people, they're gonna get it. I think the most impressive so far has been, on this particular line, has been Ivy. But I think this is perhaps my least favorite. Maybe we can see companions here. This is like, you can see the Harley Quinn. It's not bad at all. But I still think that Poison Ivy is perhaps the best of the two. Of the three companions, or the three pieces. But when you're looking at now the collector's edition, or the deluxe edition. Now the deluxe edition has a lot more to offer, but you are paying the price to something, $265, I think. But yeah, it has more of a base, more of a design. It's gonna combine better with the other pieces because, of course, you see some of the image of Harley, some of the stuff from Ivy. So definitely it's gonna work more on a diorama. Still, I still find the pose very tame and not necessarily the most appealing of the three. Yeah, the base is cool, but the statue itself is not necessarily the best in this. So this is definitely another one that is a bit disappointing in my opinion. As I mentioned, Harley, when we talk about Harley looks best. Although, honestly, also Harley, could have been done better. I found the body and the head be too small for the body from some angles. This one has a lot to showcase on the base, a lot of detail, which is great for the deluxe version. But I would say, again, that the one that is the most impressive of the three, the one that, in my opinion, is the best, is that Poison Ivy. You can just display it by herself. You don't need to have the others. I think this is the one that definitely is the winner in the end, in my book. The one that has a much better design, that works best, is the most beautiful one. Even the paint job there's a lot of detail there. So maybe it's a bit too obscure at the bottom, but other than that, it's just beautiful. It is well done. That is my favorite of the three. Of the three, this is the one. Catwoman, definitely, it's a disappointment for me. It doesn't do it for me. What do you mean it's her? I don't know who you're talking about, Cypher. You mean her? I don't know what you... Can you expand on the question? Because maybe I lost track of what I was saying. I don't know. But yeah, if you can expand on the question, I can probably answer what I said or something. I don't remember. I don't remember. I'm sorry. I don't remember that. I didn't see the question at the right time, I suppose. But yeah, I would say that to me, Poison Ivy, I see a Poison Ivy, I can see it. Maybe when I was talking about Harley Quinn, perhaps, I can see Harley Quinn. That's her. That's Harley Quinn. That's the representation of her. Like, some things sometimes are not, you don't see the, you don't see it in the face in the portrait. With Catwoman, I know it's Catwoman, but it's just not appealing to me. I think Catwoman is always has more of a sexy pose. So I feel that it lacks on that originality. It just, I think perhaps it's also because we have seen so many Catwoman statues. At this point, I think we're kind of jaded with Catwoman because there's so many ways that she has been portrayed, and sometimes one statue is just a repetition of the other. It's a variant of the other. So yeah, that's what I would say. All right, so that definitely, I wouldn't say that this is perhaps, so far, with the things that we have seen, has been disappointing from Iron Studios. Lilo Stitch is beautiful, just the price is not good. Catwoman, so far, I think I'm disappointed with it. The next piece that I want to cover, make sure that I'm not skipping one, is Mysterio. And this Mysterio looks great. I think this is the second Mysterio they have done. The first one, of course, was based on the movie, but this is based on the comic book. And this looks cute. This looks good. I like the in this case the green, the resin that they use, the translucent. Let me read that again. A bit delayed. When you were a Catwoman, you said it's her. It is her. Not sure what you meant. Okay. Yeah. Sorry for the delay. Well, with Catwoman, what I mean is that it's her. When I'm trying to say, yeah, it's Catwoman. It is Catwoman. However, I don't see it. Like, it's not appealing to me. It's not an appealing statue for me. I know it's Catwoman. It looks like Catwoman. You cannot deny you're looking at Catwoman. I just find it that it's a boring pose. And in many ways, it's not the way I always envisioned Catwoman. Catwoman has this more of a allure, you know, like sex appeal, you know, like she's not just a boring pose. She's on a cat in a feline pose, or she is on, you know, doing something, teasing you. She's more of a tease, and I don't think that she's teasing you as much here. She's just sitting there kind of waiting for the bus at the bus stop. That's how it looks like to me. So I feel that they could have done a lot better, because when you look at Harley, for example, Harley is more of a tease. She's teasing you. That's just she's more, of a Harley. She's a Harley Quinn, so she's more of a playful character, goofy at the same time. So that's fine. You can see the goofiness. Poison Ivy, she's always more intellectual. So she's more tame in comparison to the other two. She's sexy too, but she's more of an intellectual villain, or a character. So I can see that on the pose I did on this statue. On this one, she's just sitting there. She's just sitting there, and that's boring. So yeah, it is her. It is Catwoman because of the outfit, because of the look, but the pose doesn't scream at me Catwoman. That's just the way it is. I hope that I answered that question. But now coming to Mysterio, I will tell you this, with the base. Okay, again, I gotta point out, it's my opinion, of course. You may disagree, or anybody else can disagree with me. I'm okay with that. It's just the way I see it. I can see her as a character. I know that she is the one, that she is Catwoman. I just don't buy it. It's not an impressive piece for my taste. It's not a piece that makes me feel like, man, I need to add this to my collection, as I've seen other pieces from Iron Studios. Now coming back to Mysterio. Now coming to Mysterio. It's very impressive. It's tall with the base and the design on the base and the smoke, and it's just cool. Now I wish they would have gone with more of a smoky effect instead of the green effect, because every time you see the character in the comics, is more of that smokiness, like the cloudiness, rather than just kind of like a spirit flowing in the air. Because the green, it made me feel like more like he's a spirit or something. So that would be perhaps my thing with Mysterio. However, the design, the concept, even the cloudiness in his fishbowl, if you call it that, it looks good. It is good. It's just they went for the green, perhaps to kind of accentuate the statue in one way. It's not a bad looking statue. Definitely, it's different. It's cool when they're going for the comic look. But yeah, it could have been, and I like the translucent, don't get me wrong, I like the translucent resin, but I would have preferred some more smokiness. Like, for example, just to give you an idea, what I meant by this. My favorite, trying to think, Eric Larson Mysterio. I remember that was my favorite look of Mysterio when Eric Larson was maybe we can see a page like right here, for example. And this is McFarlane. I don't know if we can see it. Here, look at this image. Look at the smokiness. That is what I'm talking about. And this is, I think this is McFarlane. Yeah, this is McFarlane. Look at that. That's how I envision the green on Mysterio. I was trying to see if we can do McFarlane because I always love the way. Oh, here. This is a page from Eric Larson. I always love Eric's depiction of Mysterio. Very cool. Do you see the smokiness that I'm talking about? This is how I envision Mysterio. This is how I see him. Trying to see if there's another page. Too bad that I didn't have no visual reference to point out here with me, of course, from the comics. But you know, you go to the comics, you read the comics from Eric Larson, whatever. Even the ones that were drawn. But particularly, I like the Sinister Six, the Revenge of the Sinister Six. Of the Sinister Six run with Eric Larson, and the, you know, I like the way Mysterio is depicted there, how he depicted Mysterio. It always impressed me. Going back to this here, that's the only thing that I would have preferred for them to go for that smokiness. That would have been, in my opinion, the right way to do it. But perhaps they attempted, and in the end they change it. Also, more of jello in the gauntlets, more of that, more like the green, kind of lime green. They use some of the green, but a bit too dark. They could go with a lighter green, things like that. But other than that, I think it's a really nice piece. I'm not saying that it's bad. It's just the choice they made. Still, it looks really impressive. Perhaps as they wanted to kind of give coloration to it. Maybe the smokiness was too light for them. But they're already using clear resin, so they could just go for the same resin kind of coloration they use with the bowl in his head. It would be nice if they would have just do it. So I would say this is perhaps the better piece of all the ones that we have seen so far. I think the price, it's fair, $255. It could be cheaper, but hey, anything could be cheaper at this point. So yeah, that is another piece. Now we're moving into the quarter scale stuff that Iron Studios released, and I think one that has been a lot of people have been super within the Marvel stuff is this Gambit that was showcased. Gambit, I'm telling you, Gambit looks really, really neat. There are a couple of things that we point out. Some people were pointing out, some of the fans, $805, which is standard for the quarter scale stuff from Iron Studios, which I think is better than the $500 for Lilo and Stitch, which is a 110. This is a really massive piece. And, you know, there's been so many statues. There's some great statues out there, by the way, from for the character. There's some great statues for Gambit, and this is a good one. I wouldn't say that this is better than those that we have seen from Sideshow. I think Sideshow has produced better statues. There's better statues, better versions. However, this is definitely another version. I like the base. It's very massive in this concept. This is the second one in this Marvel license that they're building. The Marvel line, they already have Beast, which is a more modern Beast. I like the bees that they win. I like the base with this Savage Line concept that you can see, or Danger Room Sessions kind of depicting the Savage Land. It's a very nice, very unique base. With the pose, it's a very classic pose. You know, he has his card with some of that power, you know, that he's using. He's more of a serious face. They could have gone actually with the same smirk and the same attitude that Gambit has. This is a more of a serious battle pose or battle face. He's concentrated for sure, but they went, you know, it's nice from different angles. Definitely that base has a lot. You got the extra left arm. It's a different, it's the same, and that's the only thing that I would say with the arm. The only thing is the way he's using the card. One is more elevated, the one is down. That is the only thing that I would say, like, they couldn't just simply stay with one. They didn't need to give another one. That is a switch out that, in my opinion, means nothing because of the position of it. It's just, I don't see the big difference. They could have just do something totally different. Now, the paint job on his boot is really nice. On his clothing. Definitely that design with that tree. There's a lot of detail there for sure. The paint job, they went with the metallic for the chest. Still the classic outfit. And you can see that beast in the background. Definitely, this is more of a more modern style take. And it looks good. Again, you know, that the only thing that is disappointing, some people are disappointed with some people don't like the portrait. I think the portrait is fine. But I think the only thing that would say that the portrait is not as good as just the expression. I think it lacks the expression that sometimes we see on him. So he's more serious, he's concentrated on what he's doing. And that switch out part is just an extra gimmick. Is the same arm. It's just a different position of the arm. It's nothing. He's not holding anything different. They could do something totally different. They actually could have changed the bow staff from one hand to the other and do a different pose with the bow staff. There were a lot of things they could have done, or a different effect, but they went pretty much with the position of the arm. That's about it. Still, you know, I think in the sea of Gambits that we have seen, this is not the best. Because when you look at other Gambits, and I want to use this for reference, for example, let's see Sideshow Gambit. Like when you look at this Gambit. Oh, this is on eBay right now, but I'm using that as just a reference. I don't know if I can use this one. When you look at Gambits, look at the images here. Let's go at the different statues that we have seen. You know, there's so many different variations of Gambit that we have seen. There's so many different ones, like this one, the marble maquette, which is already sold out, of course. This is the thing, it's already sold out, so some people missed out. You still can find it. You can buy it if you have to go on eBay, things like that. This is a great depiction of the statue. This is a great Gambit. And it really works great on this collection that they built. Very dynamic. Very cool. I always like it. I even like some of the choices that they did for the outfit here. That is an extremely well done piece for sure. Or you can do the XM Studios. And of course, that is just, in my opinion, my favorite of all the ever Gambits that were produced, is the original Gambit. And that's just a marble. That's the bus. But there's so many other variations of Gambit that has been done in the past. Of course, you can look at the original maquette. I don't know if there's a picture here. Oh, definitely that Gambit with Rogue. That's a beautiful depiction. Or you can go to this classic original Gambit that was always, in my opinion, still to this day is the standard of all Gambits. I don't know if we can see it here. You see the price. You can see it's pre-owned. Let me see if there's more right there. $1,000 for that. No brown box, which is fine. Pre-owned. I think this is a great price for the original Gambit from Sideshow. This is a really beautiful piece. Still, up to this day, I think it's one of the standards of statues. But there's also, you can find, of course, other Gambits. Or you can do the X-Men Studios Gambit. So, you know, to be honest with you, there's options out there. But, of course, some of them are already sold out. It's not like you can get them, but you need to get something new. And this X-Men Studios Gambit, that is a beautiful depiction. Very similar to the Sideshow. And of course, the doors are closed, but you can always find it someplace. Still, that it has, like, you can see the face, the smirk. They went for the right choice on it. Give her that playfulness that only Gambit has. That is the way you do it. And they could do an effect like that, as they did. Add it on the other arm. They could do something very similar. Most of the time, Gambits are just very similar to one another. You know, most artists, they kind of follow the same trend because, you know, there's the well-known aesthetics of Gambit. For some reason, when I'm looking at this one here, it has some of that aesthetic, but also they went for the more boring side. They couldn't just do some better switch outs to actually improve. Even an interchangeable portrait would have been amazing, but unfortunately they didn't do it. You know, it's okay. The base is great, but ultimately what people care more than the base is the statue as a whole. So yeah, I'm still on the fence on this one. It's not bad. Could be better. That's all I'm saying. All right, so the next thing I want to point out, and I want to say thank you for everybody that is watching at the moment, still with Iron Studios. The next piece that I want to cover here is this Indiana Jones. Now, when I'm looking at this Indiana Jones piece here, I will tell you this. This is definitely $805 for this one. You know, some people are not necessarily fans of the portrait. I'm okay. Personally, I'm okay with the portrait. It's not necessarily the best portrait for him. It's more of an action. He is definitely concentrated on the moment. He's using, of course, you know, the lasso. So definitely it's something that not necessarily the thing that when you look at it right away, the whip, no, the lasso, the whip. So definitely in that moment, it's more like a moment in time where he's using it and he's very concentrated, ready to hit somebody with the whip. So it's not like, you know, like the best shot or the best, one of the best faces that he does. But overall, I think it's a great depiction that we haven't seen of Indiana Jones. I think from different angles, you definitely can see the actor. You can definitely see the character. I think it looks great. Yeah, it couldn't be a better face chose because of his lip, because of the mouth, the way he's doing. But definitely they went for a very kind of like a moment in time. Perhaps not the best, but definitely it's a moment in time and an expression. It looks great. I like the base, the detail in the base. It looks really, really good. And we haven't seen an Indiana Jones statue, even quarter scale statue, in a very long time. Like when you look at, for example, Sideshow Collectibles Indiana Jones, it's been years since that one. Sideshow Collectibles Indiana Jones. When you look at the statues created by Indiana Jones and the price, like look at the prices for those Indiana Jones. The Cinema Kit, the Raiders of the Ark, that one is $4,000. All the statues have been super, super expensive. $2,000 for that Indiana Jones, the sideshow. So I'm telling you, this is like, again, like look at the Cinema Kit. That Cinema Kit is definitely it's still one of the best statues ever created. Of very, very well done. But you are going to pay top dollar for this. And that is something that you will see. Look at this Cinema Kit right here. Another picture of this Cinema Kit. Which, again, this is a 1/3 scale statue, just for reference, just for those who need to know. It's a 1/3. Still, probably one of the best statues ever created. Of course, has the mixed media elements, all of that. It's one of the best ever created by Cinema Kit, in my opinion. But when you look at Sideshow, what Sideshow has done over the years is statues and figures. This Doom, the premium Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom premium format, there's been some good number of statues, but at this point they're hard to come by. It's been a while since we have seen any statue in a quarter scale on a larger scale from Indiana Jones. So definitely it's nice to see Iron Studios taking pretty much the mantle of it, really moving forward. And this is a fully sculpted piece. There's no mixed media on it, which is always good for a lot of collectors that don't know crazy about mixed media. It's just so superly well done, in my opinion. Yeah, the portrait might not be the greatest, but still it's a moment in time, and I'm okay with the portrait. So yeah, it's not a bad one, and definitely exciting to see again an Indiana Jones statue. And I would say that they did a fantastic job. Even the 110 piece that they did is really neat. They've been doing a lot of those 110, but I would say when I look now at the statue, if I'm looking for a quarter scale, definitely for the fans of indie, this is a great option right now. In price wise, it's even better than a lot of the pieces and the prices that you are seeing in the aftermarket. So yeah, it's comparable, or it's not comparable. It's a bargain in comparison. A newer statue in comparison to all the older statues that are going for $2,000, $4,000 in the aftermarket. So yeah, it's always good to keep that in mind. All right, so this is the last piece from Iron Studios. Definitely Iron Studios, they didn't have a lot of reveals, but we gotta wait. I don't know if they're gonna showcase some new stuff at San Diego Comic-Con. Definitely they're gonna have some stuff at Sideshow Con. We're gonna look at Sideshow and the stuff that they're gonna showcase for this company. Maybe we'll see these statues in person. That would be nice to see more of the stuff that they have. All right, so now we're moving from this. I'm gonna go to another quarter scale piece, but I'm moving now to Infinite Statue. Infinite Statue, this company from Italy. They have, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first quarter scale piece that they are producing. Yeah, they've been doing a lot of 1/6 stuff. They've been doing the action figures with the caustic plastic line that they're doing with action figures, which I think they're great figures. But now they're doing, of course, also they're going into the quarter scale format, which a lot of companies seems to favor now because there's a big market. Now, this is $105. Very niche. If you're a Nosferatu fan and you like the horror, the classic horror, definitely this is a very classic pose. The base is simple, but I think they did a really nice job. Even on the sculpt in the face, I'm trying to see some of the face, and it seems that it does have a little bit of hair on those eyebrows. It looks so realistic in person. It looks, even though it's a statue, it does have the feel of if it was made out of silicone or something. So I would say, at least for the prototype look, they have done a really fantastic job. These are really nice pictures. I'm not a Nosferatu fan. I'm not a horror fan, but I can understand, appreciate, you know, a well-done statue. And this is a really well-done statue. Even when you look at the clothing material, very well done. Nice paint job. Very well done. Definitely that. Very nice paint job. Very well done. The tailoring and his clothing is good. There's no interchangeable parts as I can see. But there's a lot of detail elements like the little rats and the skulls and stuff like that. So yeah, they went for something simple but actually well done. At the end of the day, simple is better. You don't have to switch out parts into anything. If you have a really nice piece and a nice depiction that really represents the character without really compromising anything else, then definitely you can keep it just like that. You don't have to really kill yourself by producing you know, more headaches by doing more interchangeable parts that ultimately can break, and they actually add more cost to the production of something. So I think they did a really nice job with this one. This is what they call now the plus only their quarter scale. So I think this is the starting point for them. And very, very good. I don't know if they have information on the, let's see on the details so we can tell who was involved here. Oh yeah, we see the artists we got. Of course, there's all people. These are Italian artists, most of them, if I'm not mistaken, all of them. But you got Daniel or Danco Angelosi, the sculptor. He has done a lot of stuff for them. He works for them. Dario Barbera, Fabio Berruti, and Fabio Varezzi. Those are the people involved in the production. I would say the paint job from Dario Barbera is amazing. They did a really nice job. So kudos to them for doing an amazing job. This is definitely a nice statue. In limited edition, we don't know the numbers, but I think even for the price, I know there's gonna be a fan that'd be super interested on adding this to their collection. So that is cool. All right, so we got that out of the way. Now I want to talk about, and I'm gonna go to, in this case, to SciShow. I'm sorry, SciShow, to Facebook. I'm coming to Facebook because I wanted to talk about, we're gonna talk about Legendary Studio. Legendary Beast Studios. So Legendary Beast Studios, they did showcase. Here you can see the stuff that they were showcasing. There were a couple of things that they, of course, showcased, but the biggest thing that they showcased is that they gave us a teaser of their new statue of the Batman, the 85th celebration of Batman. They showcased the 3D renderings, the update of the coming Batman base, of course, in the animated series. And I will tell you, reading here the stuff that they wrote down, check out the incredible details featuring the Dark Knight and his iconic foes in Gotham City. Batman in a powerful stand surrounded by legendary villains, intricate detail in every character and the Gotham skyline. So this is what we have seen so far. Let's see if we can see the picture right there. This is the rendering, and I will tell you, of course, a lot of people, as soon as this went and they showcase this, a lot of people are super excited with it. A lot of people really liking it. It does look great. Some people even pointed out in some groups that were saying, "Oh, this is the ultimate Batman," and I will say I disagree. They even compared it with saying this is superior to the Fabric Batman by Prime One Studio, and they're totally different things. You know, I'm not going to say that one is better than the other because you get into these discussions that they could take you nowhere. It's just a matter of perspective. Some people will prefer a more like realistic take on Batman. If you grew up with the comics, you're definitely gonna love the comics. So you grew up with a version of Batman that you have in your mind as the ultimate version, where there is the 1960s TV show, or even the animated series, or the 1989 Batman, that you're gonna say that that's the superior Batman. At the end of the day, it's just a matter of opinion and personal take. And I would say this is great for a animated series. And at that scale, definitely is not going to require too much detail as other pieces have. There's less intricate detail because it's based on a cartoon that will have basic drawing lines. So yes, there's some cool things about this concept. Definitely, I would say on the teaser, he looks great. I like the Joker in the background. Some people want the Joker to be a lot smaller in there. I would say that I'm okay with the size of that Joker head. I think it adds detail because at the end of the day, it's the biggest foe. At least the one we know. The Joker has become the biggest foe of Batman. When I was a kid, the biggest foe was actually the Penguin. But now the Joker is definitely the one that most people see as the villain, the biggest villain. But yeah, you can see the different characters. You see Vane in the background. Of course, all these designs from the animated series. You see Clayface, Harley Quinn. You see... what else you see there? Poison Ivy. I can see Two-Face, Ra's al Ghul, Catwoman on one side. You see Mr. Freeze. You see the Penguin. And I don't know what else I see. Let's see if we can see more. The Riddler, I missed that one. I skip it, but there's something in between. Oh, right there between them, of course, is Scarecrow. So definitely this is just for, the main characters. You see actually, it's kind of cool to see this, the balloons, the air balloons and stuff, the city police in Gotham, which is something that we saw. So I would say the concept is going in a really right direction. Of course, there may be changes as always. This is just a teaser. Here's, of course, Manuel Mesa. This is a person who won the Tor Fox Bronze, which is kind of cool. But looking at this one, definitely there is a lot of potential. There's a lot of cool things here that I would say that they're not bad. Definitely this Batman looks great. I'm not gonna call it the ultimate version of Batman unless we're talking about a Batman inspired on the on the animated series. And there's been a lot of different variations of the Batman animated series, but I would say one thing that makes this the ultimate version is not necessarily the depiction, is the fact that you can see all these poses in this huge diorama. So yeah, that could put it as the best representation of this particular version of Batman, but not necessarily the ultimate representation of Batman as a whole, because at the end of the day, there's too many variations of Batman, and everyone is going to have a favorite, whether you like the movies, whether you like the comics, whether you like this or that. It's just a matter. You get into these discussions, you never end. It's always going to be an argument. Everybody wants to tell you what they want to believe, and for them, in their mind, that's the ultimate say. So it's just, there's no point of arguing. So that's the thing. Sometimes it gets me, like, people rile people up by posting stuff, random stuff on groups saying, oh, this is the ultimate version of Batman. And I was like, why did it make you say that? Unless you're thinking that the only version that matters is the animated series, which is not, It's another version. It's a great version. Don't get me wrong. I love the animated series. It's amazing. It's an amazing TV show. One of the greatest TV shows of all time. Animated series of all time. But it is not the ultimate version of them. It's like saying, oh, the version based inspired on the X-Men animated series is the ultimate version of Wolverine. And that is not. There's so many different versions of Wolverine. And I'm a comic book fan, so to me, the source material is, I'm going back to source material. Everything else comes second, so that's what it is. It looks great. It looks really great. So kudos to Legendary Beast Studios. They think this year has been amazing for the company. It seems that a lot of people are really going after, they're praising them. Some people are desensitized, so they're angry with XM Studios. And that's something that you will see when people get angry with a company, then they raise another company up. The same happened with XM Studios came on board back in the day. If you weren't here, you wouldn't know. But when XM Studios, when Sideshow was going through a bad time, Sideshow was having a lot of quality problems, communication problems, quality control problems, release time delays and all that kind of stuff. So people were not happy with Sideshow. So then is when XM Studios came on board and everybody was praising XM, and XM is the ultimate thing. That year, XM won the Statue of the Year. People were talking about the praises of XM, that this is the best company ever. And now XM's on the other side. It's on the other end, receiving end. And now, because of Legendary Beasts, everybody's talking about Legendary Beasts is the best. The statues are the best. This company's going places. XM sucks. Now is in the other opposite direction. But like everything else, companies in this moment, Legendary Beasts has to take is getting that momentum, and they have to take advantage of it, not only by releasing all these teasers, but definitely by delivering on all the products. You know, they did it with Hulk. Let's see if they can continue the same with the rest of the pieces that they're showcasing, because they definitely are showcasing a lot of things. The difference would be when they are released. Are they going to match the same quality? Are they gonna continue on? Companies evolve, things change, things happen, you know, but we'll see, you know. But so far, I think this is a great year for Legendary Beasts. The year is, we only halfway through the year, and Legendary Beasts has been doing amazing. So let's hope that they have more energy to keep on going till the end of the year, and so on. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, this is a great teaser. All right, so moving on to the next thing, to PCS, Premium Collectibles Studio. And the reason why I'm coming to Premium Collectibles Studio, I'm gonna take you to the next piece in the collection. This is a 1/3 scale statue. This is the Ghostface gold exclusive. As you can see, the price is $18.80. So if you're a big fan of Ghostface, this is a half scale statue, and I think the price seems very good. You can come here directly. I would recommend you to come to, if you're going to do it here, you're gonna get a discount. You also get the loyalty things before you go to any place of sideshow, whatever. It's an additional 5% back in pieces loyalty points when item ships. Current price reflects early bird pre-order window pricing, so it's cheaper to do it at Premium Collectibles right now. So, you know, this, I will tell you, this character was never, I never really cared much about this character or this film. So Ghostface, the Ghost film, I didn't care. I'm not a horror, but PCS is really embracing the horror elements and the horror characters, and I would say they are doing a great job. It's, you can see you get an included swap out bloody knife, an exclusive mask, so you get this exclusive mask to go alongside it, which is very cool. So you can change the mask, which is great. You, of course, because this is directly from them, you get the black gloves and the makeup brush they give you, ruby ticket and gold coin. You get the Ghostface certificate of authenticity, which is a metallic one, if I'm not mistaken, in golden colors. So it's you know, you get some extra. They pamper you for buying directly, which is great, something that PCS has been doing. And these are the masks that come of different variations, and each mask actually is for the different films that have been in the history of this character, which is amazing that they have so many films. You get the 1996, the different masks here. You can see this one is for 2023. The second mask for 2023 has the bloody, you know, spots. The 2003 version, the 1997 version, the 1996 version, the 1996, they have two different versions, and the 2011. So you got all these different mask versions. 3 of them are only exclusive to this. The rest are just separations, but there are 3 that are exclusive to the only to the exclusive here at Premium Collectibles. Keep that in mind. So so definitely you can change, and ultimately the post is the same. That doesn't change, but it's kind of cool that they have different variations for the, I would say, the completionist, but also for the one who is a big fan of this and is very familiar with the lore of this film, which I haven't. I maybe watched one and that's about it, and I didn't even finish it. I haven't even watched the whole thing. I've never been much into it, or any horror movie. Horror is not my thing, but it's kind of cool. Simple base. Definitely they're not killing it with the base. They're just going simple. Something that PCS has done even historically. They don't really care much about those bases. Sometimes they do some beautiful bases, like they have done with Street Fighter. But other than that, they just go for the simple way. And here, the knife, the changeable knife. The exclusive comes with, I think, the bloody knife. Oh, the clean knife would be the exclusive, it seems. Oh, no, I think it's just that. Yeah, when you look at the picture here, for example. Yeah, the bloody knife, that is the one that is exclusive. So there's no specification about which one is what, but these are the heads that come with the regular, and this is the one, this exclusive mask, it seems. I don't think, or I don't know if these are actually there. So let me take you, because at this point, I'm not sure if all the masks actually part of the exclusive. Let's see if we come to Sideshow. That just for reference, because I don't want to misquote this. But here you can see the Ghostface, This is the base. You know, the price is $2,500. As you can see, it's more expensive. So it only has an extra portrait. Oh, okay. So it's based on the newest film, the 2023 film. So you only get one portrait, the bloody portrait. Okay, so that's all you get. The classic, the regular portrait plus the one with the bloody spots and all that. The spats in their face and all stuff. That is the difference with the exclusive at Premium Collectibles website. You get from all the different years. So this two right here, Mask 1 and Mask 2, they're all with the regular. That's the way you get regular is going to get. This one from the other films, all this extra 5 interchangeable portraits are actually from that, just the exclusive, which is kind of cool. So definitely another incentive to purchase directly from these guys, and it's cheaper and you get more. So yeah, definitely this is the place to come. So yeah, it's kind of cool. But this is something that Premium Collectibles had released this week, and that is very, very cool. All right, coming now to Sideshow. Let's move in. We're moving into the next thing. Now we're going from half scale. I want to take you to Factory Entertainment, and I want to look at some props. And they have, if you're a fan of Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, then there's 2 different swords that were released. They got this sword right here. This is the Dark Sister sword, and believe me, I'm not a big Game of Thrones fan, but Factory Entertainment does this props, and they do amazing work. So looking at this, again, the price is what, $705? Yeah, $705 plus shipping, of course. Very cool. This company specializes in these props, and they do an amazing job with it. The little, you can hang this on the wall, the thing in the back, that's kind of cool. The sword looks great. Now looking at the elements, if I'm not mistaken, it's actual. It's not plastic, if I'm not mistaken. It's a replica, so it's steel material. It's made out of steel, which definitely is reflected in the price. You get in an actual sword. Of course, it's not sharp for safety, but definitely this has some heft and weight, and definitely there's great detail in this sword. This company does a lot of amazing job with a lot of these replicas and props. Very cool one. Game of Thrones is not my thing, but this is kind of cool as a prop. That is for the Dark Sister sword. Another sword also from the series is this one, which is the Black Fire sword, which is a lot heavier, also made out of metal. It does have also the same thing to put in where you can hold it. I don't know how it's going to be attached. There's an attachment, how it's going to be attached to that. That is definitely something that I don't know how it's going to work. If there's how you going to hang it in there? It's going to be a protruding thing that is going to be there to hold it. Oh, right here, it's going to be it's like you have to put some screw. There's some screws there. It appears so. But how are you going to be able to attach it? That is the only question that I have. It would be nice that not only the sword, but be able to have a sheath where the sword can go in. But looking at the Factory Entertainment, just to give you an idea of the props that they do, definitely you see the stuff. Some of the stuff already cover, but they do a lot of props for not only swords. One of their favorite ones, of course, the Sword of Omens, because I was a Thundercat fan. I like that. The golden gun from GoldenEye. So there's a lot of things that this company does, a lot of props, which is amazing. I like props. Definitely, they always look great. Some of them look great. So yeah, kudos to them. Factory Entertainment did really nice job with these swords. They look great. If you're a Game of Thrones fan, then pay attention to that. All right, so the last thing. Let me drink some water here. Wow. The last thing I want to cover tonight, I'm gonna take you to Spec Fiction. Let's go to Spec. Spec Fiction, I want to cover one thing that really caught me off guard is this right here from Quinn Studios. Optimus Prime human-sized statue. It's 18,000, over 18,000, close to 19. Well, you pay the tax is gonna be over 19. With the shipping is gonna, I don't know. how much it's going to be. Probably the shipping alone is going to be like 4,000. Who knows? This is only 99 pieces. This is very, very large. When you look at the pictures here, it's an impressive piece. It's human size. As you can see, it's as tall as a guy. This guy, I don't know how tall he is. He seems to be on the tall side. Maybe 6. Might be 5. You know, he seems to be big. So he might be 5'9", 5'10", 6'2". Could be. He doesn't look short at all. I might be mistaken. He looks, you know, he has a good height. You know, this is huge. Look at that. Even they put it on display with those tires. Looking at the tires, he looks really nice. This is a very nice piece, for sure. Very unique. I do like it. Of course, this is based on the Bumblebee film, which is one of my favorite films. Rise of the Beast, I like it too. So definitely they go from the same concept. This also, it's just that it's really well done. Of course, what I like about it is that it really respects, pays homage to the G1 Optimus Prime, and I think that is what you need to do in this type of films. You kind of follow that. It's technically a combination between the Michael Bay films, of course, because Michael Bay is the producer of these films too, although he didn't direct Bumblebee or Rise of the Beast. But even the lighter features is great, but this definitely, it follows that, but also it's a combination between G1, and it looks really, really neat. They did a really nice job with this Bumblebee for sure. Look at the details there. Very well detailed there. The smoke pipes, all that. There's even, like, you can see some of battle damage in his... Look at that. That is very neat. Carrying his famous rifle. The detail, the paint job is really excellent. They really did a nice job with this one. The detail there. Now I'm trying to decipher what kind of material I'm using, because in some of these big ones where they do with the Iron Man, they use the you know, what is it that they use? Fibers. I forgot. Look at them. It's 150 centimeters in width. The height is 236, so it definitely has a really, really nice hide. 236 centimeters. I'm trying to remember, do the math in my head here. Let me show you here. Right there. There's even a video. They have this video here on YouTube on top of a terrace. I don't know where they filmed this, of course, someplace in China, but that is the video. I'm gonna give you an idea here. So technically, the height of this one is 7.74 inches tall. That is how tall it is. It's 7.7 inches tall. So yeah, that guy that you saw is definitely on the 6 feet, 6'2". So yeah, man, I'm telling you, it's a very, very impressive. And yeah, and even though that, not only that, it's a tall guy, because that statue itself was on top of, you know, like a little platform as well. Like I can show you right here. Not only is the platform, but they're moving it around, so there's another platform. So yeah, the guy is tall, but that statue is pretty tall as well. So yeah, it's super impressive. I'm sure that the materials here, it says that it's made out of GRP. I think that is perhaps like fiberglass or something. It's fiberglass. They have some resin elements. I think perhaps that's the base and polyurethane. So it's going to be a lot of hollow. It's going to be hollow, and there's going to be plastic parts. But just thinking about the price and what Quinn Studios have done in the past when they have produced a lot of stuff like this. So definitely it's going to be more on the hollow side, but still impressive for the price. I don't know, it's going to fit this in their house. It's going to be pretty tall, but it's an ambitious process for what they're doing here. So definitely, I would say Quinn Studios is doing something really, really neat with this particular statue. All right, so I'm done with this the stuff today, which is not always the case. But we finished. Actually, we always finish. I always manage to finish the presentation. And my list was, I thought it would be a lot shorter because there was a lot to talk about. Ultimately, I think I just shared. I talk a lot. You know, that's the bottom line. I talk a lot. I want to say now, come in just a few more minutes while I relax a little bit here, just to bring it to the end. Oh, run out of water right on time. All right, just coming to the end. I want to say to all of you, thank you very much for your support. Don't forget to leave a like. Don't forget to leave a comment. Let me know you're watching. Well, I want to tell you one thing. I appreciate your support. I appreciate that you are always here with me, helping me through everything that I do in this channel. It's always a passion of mine. I enjoy doing it. Talking about collectibles, where I don't have the biggest channel in the world. You know, I don't have the time other people have to produce content, but I like to do it this way. You know, this is something that I do. Hopefully we can come in a different way, but it's always been something that I enjoy over the years. It's just making videos, and I do it for, you know, the passion of it. I don't do it for money or anything like that. I just do it because I love it. But I want to tell you this, because the money, you're not gonna make money doing this unless you're super viral and things like that. But definitely, when we talk about the companies, I think companies are gearing up for San Diego Comic-Con, or for the events during San Diego Comic-Con. So it's important to keep that in mind. SciShoCon is also going to be during July. It's going to be a long month event. They're going to... I saw the days. They were talking about between July 1st, July 28th. So I'm not sure this is going to be completely 28 days of SciShow. But it seems to me that they're going to do more stuff during this time. They're not going to be limited by the time. They're just going to continue on building and doing stuff in social media. We'll see what happens. I'm sure they're gonna have presentations, and we're gonna see a lot of the stuff that we're seeing now in person. Their partnered companies, action figures, statues. We're gonna see from Iron Studios, from any other, even from Prime One Studio. We're gonna see some stuff there to showcase, and that is great. Really looking forward to it. Definitely, it's gonna be a lot of exclusives. Companies are already setting themselves for exclusives, particularly the toy companies. Which seems to me the companies that they do a lot more now in San Diego Comic-Con. A lot of the statue companies have kind of retracted from that. Sash is no longer going to San Diego Comic-Con, so they're retracting themselves. They're going into the more. So a lot of companies are kind of following suit. They're doing the same thing. Although the toy companies, they continue there. I think it's because, you know, toy companies make a, you know, the market is a lot larger than statues, so they still haven't suffered the same way as statues have. Companies that they're more selective on the way they spend the money. This type of presentations and showcases and bringing employees and bringing stuff to showcase is not cheap for them. It's a big investment, and sometimes doesn't bring much money to them, so it's more of a loss. But, you know, sometimes you have to take losses in order to promote your product and to keep customers happy. But, you know, things are shifting in the cyber world. You know, a lot of things are going online, and people seem to be more in tune with that. So we'll see what happens. Definitely, it's interested. Definitely this week, of course, come 4th of July. I'll probably be with the family. But yeah, we will have a video again next week. We're going to cover whatever is showcased this week. But again, thank you very much for your support. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for... let me just type this. Let me type this while, you know, like I have you here. You know, I like to thank everyone. So, thanks everyone. Okay, I got a little stuck in here. So yeah, I just posted that. Again, I want to say thank you very much. I wish you all the best. You know, tomorrow's Sunday. Have a great weekend still. You know, this the time that you have. Enjoy it with your family. Be prepared for the 4th of July here in the United States. Definitely I'm getting ready for that with the family. Got to go to work. Gonna be at work. And but it came from vacation. I just... I'm kind of saving my time for the next one, but yeah, we'll be there. We're working on we take the 4th of July. We do stuff with the family, maybe go to the beach or something. That's actually the plan. I want to go to the beach, and of course, you know, going to see the fireworks at night. I gotta work that Friday, so that's a bummer. But of course, again, we'll be free on the weekend. So God bless you all. Take care, my friends. and I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.